Hello, world. Welcome to another exciting episode of Double Tap, the show that sometimes goes months between episodes and then sometimes dumps 47 of them on you in 1 week.
You're welcome.
The way you said that, I really just wanted to go, hello, nurse.
Yeah, me too. I did it under my breath.
Yeah, you did.
Hello, wild.
Wild.
To hear that intro, check out our top 10 movies of 2018 video that released
A few days ago.
6 years ago.
sometime before now.
Okay, let's go.
Jesus.
For this episode, we're bringing you our most anticipated movies of 2019, the year that's already been going on for a couple months. Some of the movies on this list might be out by the time this episode comes out, but we haven't seen them yet.
I think only one will be.
Probably
Definitely
just
only
glass.
one. Spoilers.
They knew glass was on.
Anyway, I'm Jesse.
somebody's list.
I'm Colin.
I'm Demi.
And I'm Dallas.
And I'm chopped liver. Like, I'm Gabby.
What?
Thanks, Dallas.
Because I said and I'm Dallas, which is basically like Gabby's
Oh,
not
yeah. You
Thanks, Dallas.
cut it off.
That's so rude.
Well, then it
Why are
kind
you
of sounds
so
like
rude?
you're relegating yourself and Gabby to the, this movie starring blah, blah,
See,
and blah, or with blah. It's like you're always lesser.
And then with.
Yeah.
So Gabby's
yeah. What? No.
Thanks,
okay. You don't have
guys.
to demote her like
it's
that.
Reshoots starring Jesse, Colin, and Gabby, and Dallas with Gabby.
To be fair, they did that with Mary Poppins Return, where it was like
With Dick
introducing
Van
this
Dyke.
kid and Colin Firth and
Van
Meryl
Dyke
Streep.
With Dick Van Dyke.
No, Dick Van Dyke doesn't get a credit until the end of the movie.
Yep.
And introducing
appearance.
Gabby. All right.
So the four of us are going to be giving you our top 10 most anticipated movies list.
You don't have to write her
So
off.
upset.
And as we go through them,
Gabby, you are a valued member of this team.
Thank you.
Gabby, you are a member of this team.
all
That's how I
right,
feel. That's how I feel.
we're gonna explain how this works real quick. Each of us is gonna go through our top 10 list, and if somebody has it higher on their list, we will call out skip and discuss it when we get to that person's
You said
list.
we weren't explaining that this time.
I said we're gonna explain it faster.
Ah.
Honorary mentions, Jesse. Do you have?
All right, we're just getting into it. So,
Yeah,
my honorary
let's
mentions,
go.
I have, in no particular order, Shazam, Frozen 2, Men in Black International, and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
All right.
It's a good list.
Thank you.
Colin?
I have one honorable mention, and it's a bit of a cheat because I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year or ever. But my honorable mention is Guava Island.
Guava Gobba
Crickets,
Gubba Gubba
crickets,
Island?
crickets.
It is the movie that Childish Gambino is making
Oh.
with, I want to say, Rihanna. We talked about
I heard
this.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It's on my list because there's a trailer for it, which I'm hoping means it's coming out this year.
Where's it? The trailer is out.
Yeah.
Well, it's not out.
just
He
exists.
premiered it and people filmed it on their phones, and it's, but like,
It's one of those trailers.
it's on the list.
Okay.
This might sound like semantics, but is it being made officially by Childish Gambino or by Donald
Yes,
Glover?
it's a Childish Gambino movie, not a Donald Glover movie, which is why I'm so interested.
Okay,
This
now
is going
I'm
to be
interested.
wild.
All of this is why I just heard about it and forgot because it sounded like a fever dream. Like, that's not really happening. It's just something my mind
That's the
has
thing.
made. in
When
my
I was
head.
thinking of putting it on the list, I had to make sure that it was real.
Yeah.
You know,
He
All
went
right.
to double check on
All
Google.
right. If you say it's real, it's
All
real.
right.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Cool. My honorable mentions list is Charlie's Angels, which is starring Kristen Stewart, Ella Balenska, and Naomi Scott. Cutthroat City, which stars all of the people, but Shamik Moore and Asa Gonzalez are my main reason for excitement. Directed by RZA.
yes.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, also starring
Skip.
all of the people. Last Christmas, starring Henry Golding and Emilia Clarke.
is that coming out this year?
Yes.
Sweet.
And Emma Thompson and Michelle Yeoh. And Little Woods, which I've been waiting for a while, starring Lily James and Tessa Thompson.
Nice.
Shocked that's on your honorable mentions.
Right? All right. We'll get to it.
So many other
That'd be
things.
your number one.
So many other things.
Honorable mentions for me: Cutthroat City, Glass, Zombieland 2, Kingsman: The Great Game, The Lego Movie 2, the second one, and now,
The second part.
thank you. And now, what'd you say? Guava Island? Yeah, cool. That one too.
He's like, I don't know what the name of that is,
yeah.
but that thing.
Childish Gambino's a movie.
For the record, me and Dallas are both very sad that we will not be able to talk about Cutthroat Cities with you guys today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you that I was
Nope, Gabby, what are
certain
your honorable mentions?
that we would be able to talk about it, and we can't, and I'm upset.
Because we both took it off of our actual list and put it on the honorable mentions. Me and Dallas have been excited. Dallas didn't know about this movie until I sent him the trailer, and he was like, "What is this?"
I'm so
And
sorry.
it was so great.
Gabby, what are your honorable mentions?
They are Star Wars Episode 9, Frozen 2, and Lion King, the live action version. Those are my
Wow.
I fundamentally disagree with everything you stand for.
Except for maybe the Frozen 2
Except
part.
Frozen 2 because you
Frozen
put it
also
on your
honorable
list.
Possibly the three most anticipated movies of the
Right.
year. That's your honorable mentions.
Those are I know. I don't
amazing.
care about them as much as everyone else apparently.
I don't know.
That's
That,
good. Your other two aren't even on my
that
list.
Frozen 2 teaser trailer at the end of Ralph Breaks the Internet made me really
I,
excited.
for one, am
Okay,
excited to
so-
know what is on Gabby's list.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not.
You just listed all the movies and put them in your honorable
No,
mentions.
there's still some So let's
get started.
All right, all right.
Yeah, Jesse,
Number 10.
Jesse,
Here's
what's
the
your number
thing.
10?
I really like the phrase most anticipated because the word anticipation, the definition of the word, it implies a level of fear. You're
That
not
is-
entirely sure.
For the record, that is exactly what I'm banking on for my number one.
Good. So, on that note, my number 10 is Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix movie.
I knew that was going to be.
Oh
I knew that
my
was
I
gonna be
forgot
somewhere on your
about
list.
I was
Joker
almost
is
on
one of my
mine.
favorite characters ever created.
Then that should be on my honorable mentions list.
Really curious as to what the hell's going to happen with this movie. I cannot wait for the first
I feel
trailer.
like we should watch The Master and then that may be it.
See, but that's what I'm wondering. Like, are we getting just Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, or are we getting Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker? I really want to know.
This is going to be
What's the
interesting.
tone of the movie? Is it dark and serious? Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be scary? I don't know.
To be honest, with all the Joker adaptations we're getting, I kind of want just every weird out there actor to give us a Joker.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix should be great.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
But he's also like, he's way too old for this to be a prequel.
But it is a prequel.
But it
it's,
is a prequel
It's like
to what?
It's Killing Joke.
Batman and Joker.
Origin story.
Yeah,
But
it's
here's my thing is,
But does the Joker have an
no
established
one,
age?
yeah, Joker is just kind of
he
like,
doesn't. But if
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
say like, at the end of this movie, he meets Batman for the first time, and they're going to have a decades-long war from here on out.
I mean, you
How
still
many
can
decades?
if you have a crazy enough man.
All of a sudden, should Batman kill or not kill the Joker becomes less of an issue because you just got to wait him out. You know?
Fair,
dead
fair,
soon
fair,
anyway.
fair. So the Joker is my number 10.
We'll do this for him.
I will say that what I am most anticipating about this movie is the fact that Zazie Beetz is in it.
She is.
Oh,
my
yes.
God.
man.
And if I
I totally
remembered
forgot
that,
everything about
That'd
this.
probably
That
be on
would
my
have been
list.
my
Joaquin Phoenix.
honorable mention.
Also, like, there's something about making a movie with a Joker in it now that makes crazy things happen to the cast and crew of any movie that has a Joker in it.
Yeah, they had so much controversy with how they were treating their extras. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like your extras, not even like your lead character, your
Damn.
extras.
Heath Ledger had issues. Jared Leto had issues. We'll see if this one
Wait,
is
Heath
more.
Ledger had issues? I
Yeah,
thought
he died.
That's why
Gabby.
he died.
Oh, sorry. Duh.
he died.
Goodness gracious.
I forgot about. Never mind. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Colin, what's your number 10?
I thought he was doing fine. What happened to Heath Ledger, guys?
He's dead.
No, I thought he like the same thing as Jared
just died
Leto.
of
Where
old
he-
age, like
no, I
Joaquin Phoenix.
can I explain? I thought it was like Jared. You know how Jared Leto was a piece of shit to the people on set. I thought
Yes.
somehow Heath Ledger had been a piece of shit.
He's a piece of
people on
shit
set.
to himself.
I knew you were going to say
Okay.
that. Moving on. Colin.
Jesus
Colin.
Christ.
Let's move forward.
Jesus Christ.
Cool. We can just go
should not
ahead
be
and
laughing.
skip my number 10 because it's Lion King.
Oh, you are getting skipped.
Cool. My number 10 is Men in Black International.
Skip.
Is it higher? on
Ooh,
some
nice.
list?
I went back
Wow.
and forth between that and Charlie's Angels for the record for the longest, and then they came out with the trailer. And I had
No,
to
wait,
put it
never
in.
mind. Skip. You're good. No,
no, skip.
skip. Yep, skip it.
Skip. Wait, what?
We're
Skip
skipping. We're skipping.
Your
Okay.
turn, Dallas.
We're skipping.
Fine.
No skip. Unskip.
Okay.
Skippity doo.
Godzilla.
Skip it.
Godzilla. Is Godzilla?
Skip.
My number 10 is Kingsman 3
All right.
because those movies are great. Am I
Isn't
skipping?
No.
No.
Isn't Kingsman 3 going to be a prequel?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. No Taron
Literally,
Egerton.
look, I'm going to show
No.
me something on my phone that literally just says a prequel.
Let me see.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
all the
I'm
information we
so
have on this
mad.
movie. A prequel.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Well, no,
it
that's
happens
Oh,
because Taron
then
Egerton-
I,
Now,
you know,
Dallas, that is no longer just the only information I have.
Oh.
I now know that Roxy's not coming back no matter what happens. So,
Right. Well, that was the thing. Taron Egerton came out in an interview and said, "I'm not coming back for the next Kingsman movie," and people freaked out.
Cool.
And
What
then,
is the
so
point?
the studio had to come out and go, "No, he's not coming back for this one because it's a prequel. It's not Kingsman 3.
Okay.
It's basically."
Oh, so this isn't Kingsman 3.
Right.
Well,
But
either
it's
way,
Kingsman
I do
0.5.
like that
It's the
universe.
third
Taron
And
Kingsman
Egerton will be coming back in the proper Kingsman 3, which is coming.
okay, so then I'm still excited about this movie, even though I did no research on it.
because it's about, it's
because
Colin
it's
Firth.
still it's still the universe, and I enjoy that
Now,
universe.
is it Colin Firth?
It's younger. It's the younger version of Colin Firth's
So different actor.
character. I think. I don't know if it's going to be a younger actor.
Look, I don't care. I like the universe. I'm down for the universe.
Listen, all I
so
ask
I'm
is
down
that
to
when
watch.
you guys get back onto the Kingsman timeline, like when we're chronological again, can you please bring Roxy back? Like,
if
that's
you're
all I want.
listening
Honestly, yeah.
somehow by some
That was
miracle.
like such a lame, like.
Also, take it more to the tone of the first one, less of the tone of the second one.
Yeah, you went too hard on the comedy on that
Too.
second
we
one.
went from
Yeah.
classic James Bond to Austin Powers, and I liked it. better
Classic
when it
James
was-
Bond with really good raunchy comedy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to there. Except no more like anal jokes. Those are weird.
Definitely no more anal jokes. That was
Those are so weird.
out of place and weird.
So
Well, here's
out
the
of
thing. If
place.
you're gonna make anal jokes, make the type of movie where anal jokes.
Yeah, exactly. This one came out of nowhere. Please stop.
With anal jokes as a concept.
Please
Just
stop.
didn't
Okay,
work.
moving on.
I didn't have this problem because I read the comic book, and it is weird.
I had never read the comic
It's
book.
so weird.
I didn't know anything about it until Taylor Swift was rumored to be cast in the first movie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I think she was supposed to play Roxy.
Wow.
I thought she was gonna be the anal
And
chick.
she was like,
You know what? She might have been that one.
That's
Porque
cool
no
too.
los dos.
girl. ¿Por qué no los dos? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your number 9?
She also could have been just. She also could have just been a celebrity cameo in that
True.
movie. Since
Oh, that's true
been.
because it
Yeah,
had a
also
ton of celebrities.
yeah.
Elton.
Number 9, Jesse.
Cool. Speaking of celebrity cameos, remember when Bryan Cranston was supposed to fight Godzilla?
Yeah.
And he was just a glorified cameo?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now we're getting just every monster fighting Godzilla. I'm
Skip.
so excited.
Skip.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys have it higher up than Jesse.
Damn.
I am shocked. No, I skip it because Colin said skip. I'm shocked that Colin even has it on his list.
Wow.
Oh
Colin's
no!
excited for
Colin's
the movie.
excited. He's been saying
I
how
had to
beautiful that
scrape a
movie is.
barrel for this list, so whatever got on there got on there.
All right, number 9.
Colin, what's your number 9, man?
My number 9 is Men in Black International. Is the subtitle?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
MIBI.
I'm so excited about that movie, and
Is
every
it high
time.
on anyone's list?
No, I don't think it is. Every time I see Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in a suit, oh my god! I
I
just
feel
showed.
like we're getting the Thor sequel that we want. that we're not going to
I
get.
showed Colin. They just released an Entertainment Weekly cover, I think, for Men in Black International. I just showed it to him, and both of us just like grabbed our chests because, dear God.
Oh my god! I have to get a subscription to Entertainment Weekly because I love their
It's weird because
content.
most of their covers, I think, suck.
Really,
It's,
No, I like
it's
a lot of
literally
their
just Chris
covers.
Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in a suit, and
Oh,
that's
and,
okay.
and Emma Thompson in the middle of them, right?
Yeah.
She's not in that
Well,
cover.
I feel like
Okay, never
because
mind
the
then. I saw a
magazine
different
comes out weekly, their covers tend to be pretty
Entertainment Weekly
simplistic.
is not what we're talking about. Right
We're
now.
talking about Men in Black.
How do you feel about
International?
I'm going to need the Men in Black franchise to win me back because it lost me hard. But yes, they are both attractive people, and that seems to be pretty much what we're going for.
That's honestly like
That's enough.
Look,
That's
we
all I
just
need.
want to watch a buddy comedy with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, who both have really good acting
here's the
and
thing.
comedy
Here's the
chops.
thing.
and lasers.
Yes.
And
There are lasers.
They are both
And
very
bodies.
attractive. They both have great comedic timing. They have great chemistry together, and there's going to be some action in this movie.
Yeah,
That's all I need.
that's a recipe for success.
I mean, yeah, it should
I
be.
will say,
Okay.
I was disappointed that Hemsworth has his natural accent in this movie because I thought he was going to be American, and I thought it'd be really great if these two actors went back and forth between the Men in Black movies and the Thor movies, where she has to be British in the Thor movies and he has to be American in the Men in Black movies. But then no,
Um,
Aw.
Isn't he
also,
Australian?
he's
yes,
Australian.
yes.
He's Australian.
Also, I just want to
Forget
say
what he is.
that I am desperately hoping that Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson become
Make babies.
what Ryan Gosling
And
and
Emma
Emma Stone and what Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper were, where they are the two that constantly
Tom Hanks
pair
and Meg
up
Ryan.
Yeah.
to do
Take it back.
movies.
I just like that they're not necessarily love interests for each other. They're just like
They
Friends.
shouldn't be in
both
this
the
movie.
leads
They're
in the
homies.
movie.
Yeah, they shouldn't be in this movie. I'm hoping that
I'm okay with Thor
if Thor, if they
the
continue,
unnamed
yes.
Valkyrie chick from Ragnarok.
Her name is Valkyrie.
She is a Valkyrie. That's not her name
No, actually, her name is Brunhilde.
in the
Ooh.
comics.
No, in the movie too.
Yeah, she should go with Valkyrie.
But yeah,
Her name is damn it, Scrapper 142,
Something like that.
182.
Yep.
also that trailer won my heart from the moment that they started playing Fergie's London Bridge.
Oh my
Uh,
god. Okay.
So good.
I just
That
want Will
was your
Smith, and I
number
can't get
9?
him, and I'm sad.
What's
Anything else that you want to
Dallas's
say about that
number
movie,
9?
Colin?
Hot people, aliens, lasers.
Let's go.
Sign me up.
Yeah, signed up.
Probably a robot or two.
Who's next?
Colin.
I am. So my number 9 is Hobbs and Shaw
I knew that was going to be on your list.
Yeah,
because I am such a huge Fast and Furious fan, and I'm so excited to see this spinoff happen.
Hey, to me,
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
Would you say that you are furiously excited
I am furiously excited.
for this movie that is fast approaching?
Very much so. I just listen, I'm so happy about this movie. I'm willing to go with it. Oh my gosh. I was excited, and for a second there, I had forgotten that movie was happening in 2019. And then they cast Asa Gonzalez, and I was like,
There it
oh
is.
my God, wow, hold on. This movie is a thing that's also happening. Let me put this on my list. And also, The Rock is just an awesome human being, and Jason Statham is great.
Is he? Do we know if he's an awesome human being? I feel like I haven't heard any stories either way.
Jason Statham?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I like
he has
here. You know what?
amazing
Here,
comedic
let's take that back.
chops.
I like to believe that Jason Statham's an awesome human being, but he plays a really awesome character in the Fast and Furious franchise.
So here's the thing. They announced this movie prior to Fate of the Furious coming out.
Yes.
And when I first heard it, I kind of had the, okay, you're making a spinoff to a popular franchise feels that I have whenever somebody announces those.
Yeah.
But then they did something really interesting with Shaw's character in Fate of the Furious.
And also Hobbs and Shaw, their chemistry together.
yeah,
Those two
and I was like,
characters.
okay, I can see the commercial that you're putting together.
They
for
are
this movie.
they
I'm like,
are
all right.
a buddy cop comedy waiting to happen. Vanessa.
Well, it is kind of weird that everyone just kind of forgave Shaw for killing. You know,
I also do not agree with us just forgiving Shaw for that, but
Yeah,
I think
he's
that.
friendly now. So it's
But I think that the relationship between Shaw and Hobbs is a good foundation for these movies. Vanessa Kirby is in the movie, and she's been doing some awesome stuff recently.
She the villain?
No, Idris Elba is the villain.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. This movie just got
Hold on, let me rearrange my list. Well, also because that franchise has been killing it with their villains lately.
Exactly,
The
yeah.
past 3 or 4 villains.
How
have been
have
great.
they convinced these people to be part of this?
Because they're good movies and they make
Yeah.
money.
It's okay.
They
make
are
money.
popular
Who
worldwide.
doesn't want to be a ride at Universal? Come on.
Come
That's
on,
true.
man.
And whose agents like just freaking do this, and then you could do
Also,
the
I
cheap
feel like those movies are probably pretty fun to be in.
They
Oh, I'm
are.
sure.
They definitely have got to
Well,
be
also,
fun. When there's
it's
not
the
drama.
family dynamic, Colin. Everyone on that movie is family.
Yeah, but
Is that a thing
Idris
that they do?
Elba is the villain. Like, oh my
Oh,
gosh!
damn.
And Asa Gonzalez got
The villain is
cast
great.
at the last minute, so she's probably not in the movie very much. But her character's name is Madam M, which leads me to believe that she's also probably evil, and I'm down.
Nah,
No,
just
it
believe
means
she's in
that
charge
they're-
of the organization.
They're crossing over with James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do it then.
Duh.
Let's go. I'm so
I'd watch
excited.
Daniel Craig in a Fast and Furious movie.
I mean, that might happen one day at this rate. You never know.
Dude, imagine Idris Elba beating the crap out of James Bond.
I mean, he's about to probably beat the crap out of Jason Statham and The Rock, so let's do this. Hobbs and Shaw, number 9 on my list. I'm so excited. Let's go.
Number 9, we're going to skip it.
What is it?
It.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Really?
you're definitely
Skip.
skipping it.
Get it? We're going to skip it.
Skipping it.
Gabby,
Gabby.
what's your number?
We're skipping what? No, I'm just kidding. My number 9 is Aladdin.
Skip.
Skip.
Okay, we are skipping it. Let's go. Thank God,
All right.
because Hobbs and
Love it.
Shaw went on for
Number 4. I almost didn't want to put this on my list because
We're on
number
number
4. I'm sorry. Wow, Jesus Christ.
Number
ready to
8.
go.
Number 8.
Number 8. I almost didn't want to put this on my list because it comes out in 5 minutes. But Glass, my number 8.
I'm also very excited about this movie now, too, now that I've seen Unbreakable and Split.
Yeah, now that it's getting really horrible reviews, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, here's the thing. So M. Night was probably my favorite filmmaker when he was good. Because when he was good, he was great. Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs,
Village.
and The Village, which everyone hates on.
I don't like
No,
The
I don't
Village.
understand why people don't like The Village.
I don't like The
Masterpiece
Village.
of filmmaking.
I probably should rewatch it now that
The
I'm older.
Village
But
is
Everyone hates
so
the twist, and I get
good.
that. But if
Oh,
you
yeah.
take
The
that out,
twist is dumb, but the rest
Hate
of the
the
movie
twist.
but even
is
the
so
way
good.
that they plant the twist and then the payoff after the twist happened, like I look whatever.
The twist is fine.
Anyway, then this guy
It's
fell
just a good
hard
movie.
because then we got Lady in the Water, which is one of the
Lady
worst
in
movies
the
I've
Water
ever seen.
wasn't that bad. But
The Happening, which was one of the
Okay.
worst movies I've ever seen.
I didn't see it.
Oh, boy.
The Last
That's a
Airbender,
bad one.
which goes down, it's probably gone down in
We
history
don't talk about
as
that movie.
the worst movie ever made.
We don't
Is
talk
it,
about
though?
it.
I did a lot. It's on a
One
lot
of the
lists.
worst.
We
Here's the
don't
thing.
talk
it
about
doesn't
it.
matter if it's the worst movie ever made. It invented a whole term for casting people of the wrong race, like
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
race bending.
Race bending.
Oh, race bending.
Spending.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that movie, whether it's good or bad, has still gone down in history as being infamous.
Yep.
Anyway, then he followed that up with After Earth. So,
Oh, that was him? Oh, no.
but then he made The Visit, which was good. It
that
was
nobody knew
nobody
was
saw,
him.
but it was
And nobody knew it was him,
It was
right?
good. Then he did Split, and I was like, "This is the M Night I remember."
And nobody knew it was him either. He couldn't put his name on it.
no,
which
that
is
one
a
they knew because
bummer.
The Visit had come out. And they're like, "Ah, M Night Shyamalan." Also,
we'll
because
try,
they
we'll
needed
start
to,
trusting him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
they,
no,
they
we didn't
promoted
know
it
it
as
wasn't-
the director of Signs.
That's
Unbreakable,
what it
and The
was.
Sixth Sense.
But they didn't say M. Night
because you had to get Unbreakable back in people's brains without telling them that you were trying to get Unbreakable back in people's brains.
Oh,
So it was
okay, I
like
understand.
the director of The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs.
Wait, didn't you use his name in the marketing?
I think they did from M Night
Okay.
Shyamalan, the director of Sixth
Because I remember seeing it. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, Shyamalan's back. I think I'm going to like this one.
That's funny because after the movie came out, when I was trying to convince people to watch, I'm like, "Do you like M Night movies? Do you like The Sixth Sense? Do you like Signs? Do you like Unbreakable? How you feel about Unbreakable?" You had to like slowly get in it. Anyway, we are finally getting
So
the movie that M Night himself has been wanting to make since the original Unbreakable came out. He's always said that was the one movie he made he wanted a sequel to. And whenever people would ask me what was a movie I wanted a sequel to, I would say Unbreakable because everyone else would say The Incredibles, and I was like, all right, that's too easy. So Unbreakable, and now we're getting both. Or we got both. So I'm really excited, but I'm really, again, anticipating this movie because apparently it's not getting great reviews.
Yeah, it's on 30. It's at 36%.
So I'm hoping this is another Village situation where everyone hates it but me and you apparently.
Okay, so I'm afraid of this movie because they decided to release it in January. And January, like, I love my birth month, except for the fact that movies in January tend not to really be good.
Not so much anymore. Like Split came out in January.
No, I know, but that's like the only one that I know of. And maybe Snow Dogs, but it was a children's
wow.
movie. And I only know that because I went to see it on my birthday.
I had something to say and I completely forgot what I was
All
gonna
right.
say.
Okay,
I'm
so
just really glad
Colin, you're number
that
no.
I don't care about movie reviews because I'm still excited for Glass. And it's only
I am too.
because, it's mostly because of James McAvoy. Because
Mine is Samuel L.
outside of
Jackson.
him and Split, it's like, yeah, he's great.
Cloverfield came out in January. The original.
Oh yeah,
like
that
that
was
one.
good. I'm gonna say that I'm most excited about Glass for Mr. Glass.
It's going to be great.
Oh my gosh, like watching Unbreakable and I just saw it a few weeks ago for the first time ever.
Yeah, I made her watch it.
And I didn't know what was going to happen in that movie. I've never heard a lot about that movie. Obviously, there's a twist because M. Night Shyamalan made it. But wow, that was it's so well done.
Well, also that goes into my point. I'm really interested to see what he does now that the gloves are off. Because now we know we're walking into a superhero movie. We know we're walking into a movie in this franchise for the first time in this franchise.
But I did see a tweet where somebody was like, he has his hits and he has his misses, but no matter what, he never makes a boring movie.
That's definitely not true.
So I don't know. I wasn't bored during After Earth.
I was. The Happening too was also very boring,
Yeah, but I'm still excited. I think it's still going to be an
Bird
entertaining
Box,
movie,
but
and we'll see.
Flowers.
but good. Happening was Bird Box, but bad. Bird Box was Happening, but good.
But yeah, we'll see what
American
happens.
Sniper came out in January.
Colin, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Yo.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a shit about Godzilla. But that being
beautiful.
said, this movie aesthetically looks
gorgeous.
Haven't
Like
seen anything.
you tell me this is a movie about giant monsters fighting, I'm thinking, all right, giant monsters fighting, explosions, whatever. You're not gonna try. You don't need to try. But like the first trailer came out and I was like, oh, wait, you're trying to make a beautiful movie. If you can
At
do
least
big
aesthetically.
monsters fighting and make it beautiful, I'm excited. I want to know what that looks like.
I am excited to see Millie Bobby Brown on the big screen.
Millie
But
Bobby Brown.
I'm also really excited
Millie
because
Bobby Brown.
this movie is going to lead into the next Godzilla movie, which happens to have Alexander Skarsgård, Brian Tyree Henry, and Asa Gonzalez. So
And King Kong.
let's
Personal
Bearing
friend
the
of
lead.
Gary,
Oh, right.
Brian
And King
Tyree
Kong.
Henry.
So let's do this.
And
Let's
Denai
go.
Guerrero, if you didn't say that.
Denai Guerrero's in that movie too.
Apparently.
Is
let's do
about the
this.
King Kong thing. I think Jesse, you and I were having this discussion a few
I think
days
I was
ago.
there for that. Oh,
No, you were not. But anyway,
different conversation.
listen.
You chose not to hang out with us that night.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters is what this movie is about. So in theory, Godzilla will emerge from this movie, if not having defeated the other monsters, at least having survived them or something, to show that he's superior.
Okay. So
And then you're going to put him up against a big monkey and expect me to care?
right.
I mean, the movie's called King of the Monsters. The movie's just going to prove why he's the king of the
Exactly.
monsters.
So then don't put him up against King Kong and
Yeah,
try to
they
tell me that
should've
just
done
because
King
they both
Kong
have King in their
first.
name, I'm supposed to care. Like, nah.
Colin, you are not supposed to care. People who like Godzilla are supposed to care. It's the same thing with Superman versus
No, but
Batman.
that's just it.
Well,
What
I
if you
get what
like
Colin's
King
saying, 'cause-
Kong? It doesn't seem to me like it's going to be a fair fight because this entire movie seems to be proving that Godzilla is the best. So then you put
That's
him up
what I was
against the
saying.
monkey,
Okay.
and I don't care.
All right. Here's
So
what it is.
Colin's
Wait, hold on.
pointing out logical
Side
fallacies.
note.
No. I brought this up. Okay, go to me.
Side note, I just remember that O'Shea Jackson Jr. is in this movie, and I love O'Shea Jackson Jr.
So I brought this up to Colin. We were looking at the poster, and I was like, "Yeah, how is Godzilla going to take on 3 other monsters in this movie? Presumably beat them all, and we still think King Kong's a threat to him in some way."
Right.
I was thinking about
Logical fallacy.
it because Mothra isn't always Godzilla's enemy.
Right.
Mothra is a good guy. So if Mothra and Godzilla have to team up to take out Rodan and King Ghidorah, then maybe it's more of a fair fight.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, here's the other thing about Mothra. I need my little Japanese pixies to show up in this movie because Mothra is not Mothra without the little pixies. They're like 2 foot tall little pixies that sing Mothra into existence, or they sing her awake anyway.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's great. and I have not seen any 2 foot tall
Oh
little
my
pixie
God,
women
these
in these trailers. Yeah, the little Gabby just pulled up a picture. They're adorable, aren't they? And they have these awesome like high
I
pitched
feel
voices.
like they
and
might not do it because of racism.
they have Japanese people in the movie about
No,
a Japanese
I know,
icon.
but it might just
Ken
be. They
Watanabe
might be
still
like,
in it.
how do we do this without offending anyone? And the studio
Honestly, I
may
think
be
it might
like,
be, it might be more of
I
a
mean,
cheese factor.
if they're
than anything.
pixies, you can absolutely do that without offending anybody because that's medieval Europe and that is
Yeah,
fair
it has nothing to
game.
do with.
Fair game.
Yeah.
Also,
Fair.
Charles Dance is in this movie, and I love Charles
Oh,
Dance.
man,
"Ooh,
really?
Damn.
Yeah, and also,
Yeah, he's the one in the trailer that says "Long
Papa
live the king."
Lannister,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
Yeah, Papa
All
Lannister
right.
saying
I'm
"Long live
also
the king."
really excited because based off of that first Comic-Con teaser that we got, is Vera Farmiga the enemy here?
I don't know, but we see what might be Millie Bobby Brown saying, "Oh, you're the monster."
Yeah, so
but it also
I really,
might just be editing.
I really want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because of Vera Farmiga.
Also,
And all these freaking monsters.
Vera
Vera
Farmiga's
Farmiga's-
amazing.
yeah.
She's
yeah,
fantastic.
Uh,
But also Ghidorah is my favorite thing about this.
thank you.
Anthony
And
Ramos
Ghidorah
is
is
also
also
so good.
a king. Ghidorah's name is
Right.
King
A
Ghidorah.
lot of kings in this franchise.
So thank you, Ghidorah.
Wait a minute. Also, Anthony Ramos is in this movie, and so is CCH Pounder.
Everyone's in this
Let's
movie.
go.
So
Everyone is in
yeah.
this.
We've been talking about Godzilla for too long. I just want to point out that as a kid, I used to go to Blockbuster a lot, and Godzilla was always my go-to movie if I couldn't find anything else to do. So I've seen a lot of Godzilla movies, and I'm very excited, and I want to see all these monsters. And I haven't seen Rodan in a movie in forever, and I'm excited to see Rodan. Colin.
No, Colin just said
That
his
was
to me.
mine.
Oh, that was yours.
That was his.
To me.
I forgot that was Colin.
So did I.
Number
Get a little
8
too
for
excited.
me is Artemis Fowl.
Skip.
Hey,
Skip.
there we
Okay,
go.
Dallas.
Number 8, Brightburn.
Okay.
What is that about?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Quickly.
Best
All right.
horror Superman film.
Quickly.
Yes, Brightburn is the Superman origin story if Superman was a serial killer as
Oh,
a child,
damn.
basically. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. It's produced by James Gunn.
It is.
Ooh.
And they went full on Man of Steel with the trailer.
Definitely.
They
It's
use the same
shots,
font.
music.
They use the same everything.
Yeah.
And I was what is this? Is a
I was
Superman movie.
Okay, so here's the thing. I saw the
Is
trailer
it a
when
Superman movie?
No,
No,
it's just a
but-
kid who has Superman-like
Powers?
powers,
But,
but
it's evil?
is a little
it's,
monster.
It's a play on it. It's this
yeah.
family. This couple live in a farm in presumably Kansas. Alien spaceship crashes into their backyard. They raise this kid who has superpowers, the powers of flight, speed, strength, and heat vision.
Yeah.
But he's not a nice kid.
In a place that looks like Smallville.
It's
And just
definitely. I mean, again, it's the same shots as every Superman trailer.
Yeah, this looks like a Superman trailer.
Yeah.
But the visuals of his eyes when he's outside the window.
Right. You see how
and
scary
with
that
it,
is.
that Brightburn.
Like someone with glowing red eyes is scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I like Elizabeth Banks a lot.
Also, just the concept of if Superman ever decided to act out, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so you brought up Elizabeth
Hella
Banks.
kryptonite.
One of the reasons why Charlie's Angels is on my honorary mentions list is because of Elizabeth
Oh,
Banks.
nice. I didn't know she was in that.
She's the director of the
We
movie,
have Kryptonian.
Oh.
symbols.
and
nice.
she's playing Bosley.
Dope.
Elizabeth Banks is amazing.
Wow.
One last thing about Brightburn.
Is it only about the kid?
What do you mean?
It doesn't have him become an adult?
As far as I know,
As far as the trailer,
we don't see him
shows
as an adult in the
kid.
trailer. But also, there's a comic book. It's not from DC.
Mm.
It's called Irredeemable. And it's basically like a superhero like Superman, but one day he just snaps. And
Damn, like
it's
Thanos.
So
horrifying.
Injustice.
Yeah,
But-
that's
Wow.
some kind of.
But worse, because they do things that DC can't do because it's a smaller comic
Yeah.
book company. And it's just
Indie
ooh,
comics.
this is horrifying. And that's what I think Brightburn could turn into that comic book.
I was so confused the first time I saw the trailer because I didn't know anything about it. I just saw a new trailer had come out,
Yeah,
so I
same.
clicked on it and I'm like, "What is this? A Superman? Oh my god, this is a Superman movie! I don't understand."
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Gabby, what's your number 8?
Yeah,
the
Gabby, what's
balls
your
on
number
that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was looking at this trailer. My number 8 is Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Hey,
That movie was a
no.
delight. The animation was super unique, and just all those movies and the tone that they have are fantastic. So I'm just really looking forward
Yeah.
to the continuation.
The first movie is so good that my screenwriting teacher showed it to us in screenwriting class.
Wow.
For story structure and showing us how that works out, and then we had to break it down. It's just
break it down.
First movie is so great, so I'm hoping that the second one is just as good. Plus Tiffany Haddish is in it, and I love Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
yeah, she's gonna be great.
Playing whatever I wannabe.
I didn't particularly care for the first one, but I'll see the second one mainly because Stephanie Beatrice is in it, and I will see anything
Oh my
she
god,
does.
she is.
Yeah.
she's playing the cutesy thing.
I think
the
she's
object?
playing the
I
villain.
think she's the astronaut looking thing.
Yeah, I think she's the villain.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
but she's amazing.
She's the
and
thing
her
that gets
range-
in.
Yeah.
Her range
Something
is
got in.
awesome.
Something I did.
Who's playing? Is Chris Pratt playing the Chris Pratt character?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Playing
that's the
both,
point.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
Chris Pratt and Emmett.
Yeah, he's talking about how he's doing a religious fast right now, and he's going to be doing press for a Lego movie. So I'm like, oh Lord, this
During
is gonna
his
go-
fast? That's
Yeah,
weird.
this is going to be.
He's probably on the
horrible.
Daniel fast. Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
Jesse, number
I
7.
love Lego movies.
Number
I love the
7.
first one. I love Batman. I thought Ninjago was fine. So I'm looking forward to Lego Movie 2.
The
I love
Batman one
Batman
is the
and
best.
Ninjago, and I love the Lego movie, but it's my least favorite of the three.
Really? I've never seen Ninjago, but I would say that Lego movie is my favorite. Lego Batman's my second favorite. We'll see where
Batman
Ninjago
also,
lands
yeah.
if I ever watch it.
Okay.
Lego Batman might be the
So
best
that was
Batman
my
movie.
number.
That was number 7. That was
So
number
let's
8.
go
Jesse,
number-
what's
Your
your number 7?
That was-
I'm going to number 7.
Number 7.
And I'm going to get skipped because my number 7 is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Skip.
Yep. Skip that.
Carlin, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is also Spider-Man. So
Skip.
All right, moving along.
My number
Colin, I
7.
appreciate you.
My number 7 is Shazam.
Skip.
Shazam.
Skip.
And we're skipping mine too. My number 7 is Detective Pikachu.
skip.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Gabby.
I think we're skipping mine. My number 7 is Avengers Endgame.
Skip.
Oh, yeah.
We had an entire round of skip.
This is how
Good
you
job,
move.
everybody.
Let's just do that from now on. Let's just get through this.
Skip everything. All right, number 7.
All right,
Everything
my
is our number
6.
1.
Toy Story 4.
Dang it.
Again.
I was ready to skip.
No, this is going to be a long round. Watch.
Yes. Well, again, it's the level, anticipation. Fear. Toy Story 3 was perfect.
The perfect ending.
It was the perfect. It was one of the best endings I've ever seen to anything ever.
This is my problem with Disney is that they do this. Just let it lie. You have such great ideas. You have such rooms full of people.
I'm
But
hoping
I said
that
the same thing before Toy Story 3 came out.
I'm hoping that the situation is that somebody came up with what is honestly a great idea for a Toy
I
Story
heard that
movie.
it's going to be about a fork that now has googly eyes existential crisis.
Well, yeah, because I think
Which brings up
Which is
so
going to
many
be
questions.
an interesting
Like,
ass
deep
plot.
existential
But
questions.
also, I feel like this could.
yeah, what dictates what a toy is?
Right, and then
Exactly. Which,
what gives it life? At
Exactly.
what point does it become life?
Which is
Can you just pick up
probably
anything and play
conversations
with
that
it?
people have had because of Toy Story. But like, it's just one of my problems with Disney is they don't always let things lie that should.
But I mean,
Fair.
this is a good story.
But this is a good ass concept.
also.
I
completely
will
agree with
give
you,
them
Gabby.
that.
Also, Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele are in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what made me excited because
Yes.
I was like,
Exactly.
oh, we're getting a Toy Story 4.
Saying that.
Yeah, it's like we're getting Toy Story 4. I don't care. I got all the Toy Story I needed.
Yeah.
And then I saw that video.
That
and I was
teaser.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're going to get me to freaking see this movie.
No, you were going to see it anyway, but now you're
Yeah, like, they're gonna
excited.
get me to want to see this
They
movie.
know how to sell
had my
things
curiosity.
They know.
Now you got my attention.
Exactly.
Exactly. Toy Story 4. Toy Story was our childhood and and our high school years apparently because Toy Story 3
I was
destroyed
gonna say, so
me.
that was so the thing about Toy Story 3 is it came out at just the right time.
It
were
came
all
out-
We were
becoming
ending.
grown-ups.
That's the crazy thing about Toy Story is that we all grew up, all of us around this table, because we are all the same quote unquote age as Andy, because we were always the same in the same area of life that Andy was as the movies went on.
And it came
then
out, what,
for-
2010, 2009?
2010 was
Came
when he
2010.
graduated from high school.
It came out the same year
Right.
we were graduating high school.
Yeah, so
And
it
that's
was
when
so
he was graduating.
Yeah,
Yes.
Andy
So
was going
he
off
is
to
us.
college.
He
Yeah, he was us.
It's like,
That's the thing.
and that's what makes me mad. Cause like, that's it.
So is
that's
it,
the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is a new one gonna appeal to like jaded, grumpy, almost 30-year-old millennials?
It
Or is
has
it-
to.
I feel like it is. It's about an existential crisis.
That's true. He's going through his quarter life crisis.
Oh, it is.
I don't belong. This is honestly, that's the story of my life. At least once a day, I say the phrase, "I don't belong
Something
here."
having an existential crisis.
I'm not a toy.
like,
I want, and I know we won't get it. I want Andy out of school just trying to pay his student loans and just like trying to make it
just
by.
like making a fork a googly eye.
I want Woody to look at this spork and go, "You are a child's plaything," and then he comes to life.
Oh, God.
So, Colin, what's your number 6?
Get us out of here, Colin.
Yeah, we need to move on.
I'm starting to feel existential
My
dread.
number 6. Yep, that's number 6. Is Aladdin.
Skip.
Cool.
To me.
My number 6 is about to get skipped because it's Lion King.
Yep.
All right. My number 6 was also on my most anticipated list last year. It didn't freaking come out. The New Mutants. The freaking New Mutants.
So just
I
watch
think
the
it's cute
last
that you still
video.
think it's
Watch
coming out.
last year's video.
You know what? It
It
better
might-
come out.
It might not be.
It's never coming out, dude.
Oh my God.
I'm calling it right now.
Look, I'm going to put this on my most anticipated list every year until they finally say, look, it's not happening.
All right, so look, I have this playlist of trailers that I play, and the way that works is
Yes.
that every time a new trailer for a movie comes out, I put it on the list. Every time a movie comes out in theaters, I take it off the list, and every time another trailer for a movie that already had a trailer comes out, I take it off the list. New Mutants has been on the list long, so freaking long. It's the first one on the list now because it's the oldest video.
Yeah.
New Mutants doesn't have a new trailer.
Yeah. They don't, it doesn't, they're
It's
not
been
doing
like
anything.
3 years now. This
It's
one
been so
trailer.
freaking long. But like, since the first time I saw that trailer.
Even
I've
Dark
been
Phoenix
hyped.
has a
man.
trailer.
And
The trailer that lied.
I made a playlist of all my anticipated movies for the trailers so I could like see how I wanted them. And I saw New Mutants trailer again for the first time in like 2 years. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so hyped. I hope this happens. And
It might be a completely different movie now.
Yeah.
and to keep it brief,
Yeah,
it's
right.
just when you
already
have
talked about this last year.
when you have like a established franchise, I want them to do something different with it.
Yeah.
So taking X-Men and making it a horror
Yes.
movie is something different.
Yep.
And it's a conversation that I had when
And that's been working for them.
Yeah.
It's changing the genre.
do
of
something
the
different.
X-Men. Yeah.
And it's like when Bird Box came out and everybody thought it was a movie about boggarts.
What?
I mean, that's basically
There's a
what
line
it
in the
was.
Bird Box trailer where it's like, they take the form of your worst fear.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, it's a boggart horror movie. But then I thought, oh my God, what if they did like a Harry Potter horror movie? I'd be so down.
Right? Dude, I have been saying this since I started working at Hogwarts.
feel
Like,
like
why don't we
that's-
get a horror maze?
Right?
A
Like,
Halloween Horror Nights. Harry
it's
Potter.
like you have this, and J.K. Rowling loves to do anything.
yeah.
So like,
Even though she's
she
the
could
one
just-
specifically that said we're not allowed to do it.
yeah, she could just like do
She said
different
there's
things.
No, horror maze
No,
now?
you're not allowed to make a horror maze. Yep.
That's so
Yeah, you can't have just a
stupid.
bunch of
But yeah, so
scary,
New Mutants.
racist.
So many
New
scary
Mutants.
things.
I'm still excited. It might never happen, but I hope it does. And when it does, I'm gonna be there first in line.
I feel bad for you that it's your most anticipated because I just feel like you're gonna be at this level of anticipation.
Oh, I will.
For
Forever.
decades.
I will. Every year we're gonna do this, and every year it's gonna be at my number 6.
With a running gag.
Gabby, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is about to get skipped. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah.
Skip.
All right.
Top 5.
Let's see top 5.
Top
Woo,
5. Wow.
Fastest
Wow.
ever.
God dang.
Not
I love
even
it.
half an hour. I'm so
it
proud
going.
of you guys.
All right. Well, we keep skipping. Are we gonna skip Captain Marvel too?
Skip.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, man.
Go ahead.
All right. My number 5 is Hellboy.
Ooh, that should have been on
I
my
figured-
honorable mentions list.
I figured it would be on somebody's list. I just didn't know whose it would be on.
Still haven't watched that trailer.
Trailer didn't really.
I haven't
Get
seen
me,
the
but-
trailer
I also
either,
haven't
but
seen the
I just
trailer.
really like Hellboy.
Trailer looked like fun. I like the concept of Hellboy, the 2 movies that we've gotten, even though this isn't those. Just it's a really cool world, and Hellboy is a really cool concept.
Mhm.
And I'm also really excited because Sasha Lane is playing, I think, the main lady in it, and she's one of the main people in The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which was my favorite movie of 2018. So I'm really excited to see whatever she does next. And
Yeah.
Hellboy is a cool direction to go. It's wildly different from what she was doing last.
And Ron Perlman is great.
Ron Perlman.
Is not in this movie.
That's why I haven't watched the trailer.
That's it.
I know, right?
It's-
Same.
yeah, David Harbour's
David
great.
Harbour's
Like,
great.
don't
David
See if
Harbour's
he's
awesome.
great
They
as
have
Hellboy.
similar head shapes, so it works.
They have
They do, but
similar
not
head shapes.
as Hellboy. It's weird.
I will say though, I am not feeling this Hellboy design.
Yeah.
I was feeling it until someone put it next to the Ron Perlman one, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It just
never
feels
You know
mind.
what?
Smaller.
It's hard to.
It's hard out there for a pimp.
It's hard to compare things to Guillermo del Toro because not only
Yeah.
does he have the concept in his head, he's able to actually put it down on paper, which may be a problem for some directors when, like, you know, they have a vision, but they're not very good artists. So it's hard to.
That's the
transfer
thing that I
that
wonder
vision.
about this
What?
movie is will it look as interesting? Because when you're following Guillermo del Toro's monster designs, I don't know what you do.
Well, also historically speaking, whenever a franchise has been taken out of Guillermo's hands, it has not gone well.
Can I just want to say, why does this Hellboy not look as real as the last one? For some weird reason. To me, it just
Because
seems
Ron Perlman
off.
looks like Hellboy. So
Yeah.
they just painted him
I
red.
think so.
David Harbour looks close. But yeah, I was down.
Well,
when they said
maybe
David Harbour's
they
gonna be
may
the first one, I
also
was
be
down.
using some like
CGI,
CGI,
to
whereas
modify it.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just looking at it and I'm like,
But it may also be. It looks like they didn't really contour his face very much.
he's
And
just
the
red.
Ron Perlman
He's just
one,
red.
yeah, Ron Perlman one was a little bit more. There was more depth to his face
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
because this just looks like it's been colored red.
For
as
the
opposed
record,
to
guys, we are
contoured.
watching the trailer on a TV screen right now. Just kind of looking at it.
Yeah, I can see your point though. Yeah, this doesn't. It doesn't look as real as Ron Perlman's.
I'm gonna play the role of Demi for a second and give my obscure actor shout out. Not
Do
that
it.
obscure, but Daniel Day Kim is the reason.
Yes,
I'm excited
he's
about this movie.
awesome.
Because I love that guy, and I love that guy for the most obscure reason possible is a video game.
Also, shout out to Ed Skrein for giving up that role
Yeah.
once he realized that he was whitewashing.
What game
and
was
that
Daniel
bad.
Day Kim in?
Saints Row.
Who is he in Saints Row?
The
Johnny.
Asian guy?
Johnny Gat.
Johnny
the Asian
Gat?
guy. Yeah. And oh my god, I love
Oh my
Saints Row
god,
and I
that
love
looks
Daniel Day
cool.
Kim.
All of a sudden, you know what? I'm okay with.
Yeah, Daniel Day Kim. He was also in Legend of Korra.
Isn't he also in
Who is
Hawaii
he in
Five-O?
Korra?
He's Asami's father.
He's Hiroshi Sato?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He's great.
Interesting.
He's
He's
fantastic.
dope.
We'll
Okay,
say I think they showed the
so-
end of the movie in that Hellboy trailer.
Who's
You won't know until you see it.
was Hellboy yours?
That was mine.
Guys,
Oh,
Collins.
yours. Oh, okay, so
To me,
Demi.
here's with that 5.
My number 5 is Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I got
Skip.
5
Skip that.
on it.
I got 5.
That's funny. My number 5 is us.
No
Hey!
We're not skipping?
No,
What? Really? Okay. I wasn't ready to talk
you
about
and
it yet.
Jesse are the only horror fans in this group.
No. Oh,
fair.
wait. What did you say?
Us.
Oh, no. Skip.
Thank you.
Oh,
Gabby,
what?
For paying attention.
Oh.
Okay.
Gabby, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Shazam.
Skip.
Skip.
Oh boy.
Yes.
All
I love
right.
the skips.
We ain't talking about shit today.
Okay, well, no,
We're not gonna talk about anything
It's
till the top
crazy.
4.
It's like we're not talking now, but when we finally get there,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
have
gonna
Our
be
top 3 is going to be a mess.
oh man,
Jesse, what's your number 4?
What the hell is it? It's my number 4. It is my number 4.
skip.
What?
Yeah.
what?
Really?
What?
Skip.
Do you have horror movies as your top
She
3?
did. She was saying on the way here.
Let
like,
her
freaking
live.
Out. Colin, number
But no,
4.
it's Gabby. Gabby doesn't like
Let
horror
Gabby
movies.
live.
No, we're letting her live. We're just shocked.
Yeah, we can
I
be
know.
shocked at her life choices.
Colin, what's your number 4?
My number 4, let me make sure I have this right. Yep, is Artemis Fowl.
Woo.
Yes, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Ooh, man, like I forget about these books, and I forgot about these books, but like they were a large part of my childhood. Like I never read the last one, but I think I read the first
6.
6.
My brother doesn't read, and he
Yeah.
read those.
Like those books, they're just so much fun.
Okay, I've read like 2 of them out of like the 7.
You
but
should-
I really loved the ones that I read. Though.
Yeah, the first 2 are really good. I think 3's great. 4 has some really cool stuff with like demons. It's a whole nother side of the fairy stuff that is just really cool. But anyway, like I love that series and what it did for doing something familiar with like fairies and that, but in a different way that made it more interesting than a lot of other stuff that was out there. And I'm really interested to see like what I think Kenneth Branagh is directing.
Kenneth
this.
Branagh.
Yes,
Like,
Kenneth
director.
Branagh is directing it, which means I
What
feel
does
like
that
that
mean?
I feel like it's gonna give it a very regal and larger than life feel
It
to
means
it.
every shot will be at a Dutch angle.
That is a little worrying because Regal is not what I think
Well,
of when I think of
no.
Artemis
See,
Fowl.
I wouldn't call it regal. It'll give it like. You
I don't
remember
think
how
it should be grandiose though,
Thor.
because that's not what Artemis Fowl
I was about to
is.
say, you remember what Thor was like? It'll probably be like that.
Oh, but
That's-
see,
yeah.
I don't-
Pretty grandiose
it
and
shouldn't
regal.
be like that.
I wouldn't
Thor
call it
was
regal.
like traditional, like mythological stuff, and that's not what Artemis Fowl is. That's why I
Weird, 'cause
like
that's
Artemis
where,
Fowl
that's
so
where
much.
Kenneth Branagh lives in that like Shakespearean.
Right.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
his
interested
spot.
to see how he's going to take on like Foley. Foley wears a tinfoil hat and is like the guy in the chair before I knew what guy in the chair was.
Guy in the chair.
And I
That's
don't
true,
know
yeah.
how Kenneth Branagh is going to
Yeah.
tackle that.
I've been excited for an Artemis Fowl movie since Disney bought the rights to it years ago, and Robert De Niro was signed on as the producer of the film. That was ages ago.
And I think that's Robert De Niro has like young kids too.
He does,
So
yeah.
he's probably reading
I am
this stuff.
slightly afraid because, and this works for anticipation, because I think Kenneth Branagh gave an interview about the movie and he was saying that like Artemis Fowl is like lovable or like a spunky kid. And it's like, no, Artemis Fowl is an asshole.
Yeah.
He is, but he's an asshole in a lovable
asshole.
way.
No,
yeah.
he is not. I do not look at him and go, oh, I love who he is as a
But
person.
did you know?
No,
But
he's
no,
terrible.
but we're not saying that he's like a person you want to meet. He's an asshole, but you love watching him be that way.
Exactly. But then is this movie going to do that? It sounds like it might not. If
like
this
it won't.
movie
I feel like
tries to
they'll tone
give
it
me
down a
like an
They'll-
Artemis
yeah, they'll
Fowl who
definitely
like
tone it.
actually likes people and wants to hang out and like feels love in his heart, especially in the first movie when he's not that at all in the first book, that worries me because he doesn't really show any sort of love until like the end of the first book and then mainly the second book with his dad.
Yeah, I feel like they might water that down a bit.
And that's just
Yeah.
because it's
To make it more
meant
palatable for the
for
kids.
families.
You don't want all the kids to be like Gabby, just carving their names into people's stomachs.
I don't
You gotta be able to
do that.
Not anymore.
think Artemis
They taught you.
not to.
Kills anybody.
I was never like that.
To be fair, Artemis is also a thief, though.
We just gonna brush past that?
Yes. Yes, we are.
We are gonna brush past that.
Yes, we are. Yes, Jesse. Nope.
You ain't just gonna brush past that like you ain't just say it.
Call somebody.
What's the statute of limitations on that? I just want to say one thing because Artemis Fowl is one of those movies that if it came out several years ago, it'd be on my list. But so much time passed that I just
Don't care.
stopped
anymore.
caring. But like a while back, I came across a Tumblr post that I made years ago.
Oh,
It was
boy.
about movies that I wanted to be made.
There was no nudity.
And
in it,
Artemis Fowl's on the list.
Before any of these movies had been announced. And it was Artemis Fowl, a bunch of others that aren't relevant right now, but also Deadpool and Black Panther.
Nice.
So this is long enough that those movies weren't announced yet.
Oh yeah.
So
Dang.
like that's
So
when I was hyped about Artemis Fowl.
Well,
Here
to
we
be
are,
fair, wait. To
half
be
a
fair,
decade later.
Artemis Fowl might have been announced. It was just in hell for the longest.
Yeah, it's been
Possibly, yeah.
It was
knew
in
that
development hell for years.
Possibly. And then now it's here and I'm like,
The
oh
thing
man,
is,
I want to be excited.
While I agree with you, I know that if I read that first book again, I'll get hyped all over again.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Oh, well, I have to read the first book. I've never read the.
I've
First
read
book.
the first 3.
I read 2 and 3, I believe.
You didn't read the. Girl,
I never read the first one.
why did you start with the second one?
Somebody bought it for me, I think, and I just read it, not really knowing that
But-
there was another one.
okay. If you didn't
Because
know,
back then, so like, remember kids' books where they were like Goosebumps, where like there was a
You could
bunch.
pick up
You could pick
one
up one, and it was
some
its own
were, but then
story.
you can't tell me that there weren't series that you didn't know. Like you
Yeah,
know,
this
some were
isn't one of
series.
those.
But it was
Listen,
kind of rare.
if it wasn't for my cousins, I would have picked up Harry Potter 4 before picking up any other Harry Potter
That's
book.
what I did. I
Would've been
picked
a
up
mess.
Harry Potter 4. I read it. I was like, oh, this is the middle of a story, but I'm already here. And that's what I read
Somebody
first.
bought me the 4th book
Started
for
from the
Christmas.
middle. Now we're here.
Somebody bought me the 4th book for Christmas, and I was like, "Ooh, this looks interesting." And my cousins who lived with me at the time were like, "No, you can't read it until you read the first 3." And I was like, "There are other 3 that I have to read." Like, it happens.
Funny, I started reading the Harry Potter
Yeah.
franchise in 2nd grade, and I feel like had I seen the 4th book, I would have ran away screaming.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the cover of the 4th book. Well, I was also
The
in
cover's
4th.
great.
I was in 4th grade
Yeah, yeah.
when I got it. So like
was
the
like
cover of that book, I was like, this looks awesome. What is
I
this?
never would have got
need
into
to
Harry
read it.
Potter if that was the first
Also,
book
just
I'd
look really
seen.
freaking heavy. 734 pages? Nah.
I don't know what a tome was at the time, but that was a tome.
I think I was like, no, okay, we got to move on.
We do have to move on. We're not talking
Anyway.
about Harry Potter.
All right, number 4. Is it me?
No, it's my third.
To me.
To me.
Oh,
I'm about
yours
to
is
get-
Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to get skipped. Captain Marvel.
That's also
Skip.
my number 4, so we can skip
Hey.
me as well.
Dallas.
Shazam.
Skip.
Shazam! Oh wow!
Jesus
Beautiful.
Christ.
Wow.
Somebody's
I think I know
Colin
Colin's
has
number
more than
1 and
10
number
movies.
2.
Jesse's number
Jesse's
3.
number,
My number
three.
three.
Top 3, guys. We
Three.
made the top 3.
I feel like Colin has like 18 movies because he
I'm so
skipped
proud
everything.
of all of you.
But it also talks about movies. All
So,
right,
fun fact.
Jesse.
I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
And I got to see the sunrise.
Okay.
And I was driving on the
sorry.
freeway
Oh,
when the
welcome
sun
to my
rose,
world.
And I started playing Skip. Nah, Señora.
Skip.
Spaghetti, baba.
Colin.
Skip.
All right.
So we know Dallas is top 2.
My number
No, we
3.
don't. We're on top 3 right now.
No, I know.
Yeah, but I just.
But
yeah.
he skipped. So
Colin.
deduction.
Haven't heard of that movie.
Colin, what's your top
What's
3?
your number 3, man?
My number 3 is
Colin.
Captain Marvel, right?
Captain Marvel.
Woo! Yes.
I was wrong about your top 2 then.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I just can't.
Like the thing is, I keep wavering on how excited I am for this movie because like
You do love Captain Marvel a
I
lot.
do, but I'm so afraid that they'll adapt her comic plot lines, and I hate her comic plot lines because all of them are like, she has a tumor. Okay, the tumor got fixed, but like now she has amnesia. Okay, she got her memories back, but now she's in charge of people, but now she's paranoid. So paranoid that they take her out of being in charge because she can't handle it. It's like everything
seem
that
like
happens
that's
to
where they're
her
going.
is like,
Well, she doesn't have her memory.
we have to take her down because she's too powerful. And given that Kevin Feige said she's the most powerful character in the MCU,
That's also why they were having issues with writing this movie in the first place. They kept saying that we're having a hard time writing the script because she's so powerful. And it was like, all right, well,
All
y'all write
of that
Superman movies.
said-
So
Although they say the same thing about Superman movies, which is why we haven't gotten a good one since 1980.
thing is, I feel that way, but also this, I think it's the second trailer has the shot of her like flying through space and just fucking
Yeah.
shit up, and like, oh my god,
So
He's ready.
like,
I have liked all the footage
so
that they have
good.
released for this movie so far, including the first trailer.
Me too.
But my favorite thing that they released
Blockbuster, I
was
was
the
like-
featurette.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That was
That-
the best
That
trailer.
featurette that they released is so good. And I saw a lot of people who were saying that they weren't interested in seeing this movie yet until the featurette came out. Then they were like, all right, now you have my
Okay, I have to see the featurettes.
The featurette. Oh
I'm
my-
really excited about this movie.
There has been an issue with the trailers. They haven't really blown me away. It reminds me of the Ant-Man trailers, where it just felt like it didn't have the personality. The Ant-Man trailers
See,
didn't have the personality that the movie had.
I think the problem is that they've been marketing this as an origin story of a superhero when what they should be marketing in this as this is the character who's going to come in to help save the day from Thanos. And I
Yeah.
feel like they're instead just saying this is another character.
Well, I think that they don't want to necessarily give that aspect away, even though they kind of have a little
Right,
bit.
but then that makes the end of Infinity War where they tease her with no context. This is her. This is who Nick Fury was so desperate to send a message to before he poofed.
But I think that's why the featurette is so great because the banter between her and Nick Fury is just so perfect. It is so well done. The chemistry between Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson is up there. And I also love the moment between Fury and Coulson, where Coulson's like, do you think you can find more of these guys?
Why didn't they
he's
DH
like,
Coulson? Why does only Nick Fury get DH, but Coulson, who needs it, doesn't get DH?
don't know. What?
Samuel L. Jackson has not aged since the 90s. Clark Gregg has aged in the past 5 years. Like since Agents
Listen,
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of
started.
S.H.I.E.L.D. has been wearing him down, man.
Yeah, he looks significantly older in the most recent season
Yeah.
than in the first season.
But yeah, Captain Marvel looks. I'm so excited because I'm usually always just excited about a
probably
new
didn't have the
MCU
budget
movie
for
to come
both.
out. This one I'm super excited about because I do love Carol Danvers, and I've mainly read her Miss Marvel strips. I haven't really read her Captain Marvel
Miss Marvel
stuff.
does what now?
Strips is a great time.
I mean, if you've seen her costume,
Yeah, there's not much there to begin with.
not much there. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I wasn't on board with Brie Larson playing Captain Marvel when
I'm
they
still
first
kinda
announced her.
not.
Really?
I follow her on Twitter, and almost weekly, she does something that proves that she might actually be Carol Danvers. This might be one of those Chris Evans Captain America things.
I think the thing for me is mainly her voice. That when she talks, she sounds adorable, and that's not Carol Danvers.
I think I'm also having that issue.
See,
it's like,
here's the thing.
I don't
I
know.
don't
Again-
want Carol Danvers to sound to like be adorable or giggly. Like that's not who she is.
No, but she is kind of quirky.
There's quirky, and then there's what this. I don't.
I mean, her
see,
freaking
also, I
cat's
don't-
name is
I think it
Chewbacca.
can work.
It's Chewy, which that's not that weird. You name your character after one of the most, or your
Not
cat
anymore,
after
right?
one
They
of the
changed
most
it.
popular
Yeah, no, they
characters
had to.
in the world. That's not that weird.
No, but it just says how much of a nerd
We
she
had a cat
is.
named Yoda. Like it's a character from a franchise that everyone knows.
Yeah, but it just says how much of a nerd that
Again, I
Carol
think that goes into the
Danvers is.
marketing because we've heard until this featurette, we heard her saying badass things like "I'm not who you think I am" and stuff like that.
That one little eyebrow cock
Warrior,
that she
was
has in the
it
featurette.
super warrior heroes or whatever? Versus in the featurette, we actually got her to hear her banter, like you said. Oh, was putting the shield logo on your hat gonna help with the hiding in plain sight thing or whatever she says? I think it worked a lot better in that context.
That featurette is so good. And it's so crazy to think that we are now 2 months away from Captain Marvel happening. I feel like it was just yesterday that Marvel was announcing that they were pushing back Captain Marvel and Black Panther, and I was so upset. Because these were the two movies that I was most looking forward to outside of Infinity War from Phase 3.
And also, what's his name? The villain?
Jude
Law.
Law. Jude Law's not the villain.
He's not?
He is Marvel.
Which might make him a
I was
villain
gonna
in
say,
this
he-
movie.
You know what?
he's
You're
definitely
right.
the villain.
I
You're
feel
right.
like he's looking like the villain.
He's gonna be the
He
villain.
literally taps her on the head and says something like, "You're not as smart
Strong
as you think you are, strong as you think you are." Like
I mean, possibly, but he's also her mentor in the movie.
I don't think
so.
he's the villain, but I don't think he's.
He's gonna
Especially
pull a-
because-
he's gonna
especially
pull a Mordo
I think
by the
they're
end of the
doing
movie.
with
Especially since
him-
Ronin's in the movie.
Yeah, but I think he might be fulfilling the role from the comics of her mentor person who isn't actually on her side necessarily.
Well, that's the thing. Her entire team are established villains already.
Oh yeah,
Mark Miller's not.
Gemma Chan's character, Gemma Chan is in this movie. She is also a villain in the comic books.
I feel like they're gonna have a twist where just the whole team goes bad
Weird.
by the end of it, because we know Ronin and Jaimin Hansu's character Korg.
No, Korg is the Rock. dude.
I think his name is Korag.
Korag. We know that they're villains,
Right.
Yeah, we do.
so we'll
Yeah.
see where that goes. Also, we're gonna see Fury's eye get gouged out, which is kind of cool.
I am also really excited for this movie though because the
Skrulls?
Scrolls are in it. And
Yes,
while I don't know anything
finally.
about them,
Oh, I do, because
every
Guardians.
step we take
Secret
towards
Invasion.
the possibility of Young Avengers being on the big screen or any screen at all is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, if you give me Young Avengers and if you give me Secret Invasion, oh my gosh.
I think Kevin Feige said Secret Invasion, maybe the director said Secret Invasion is not off the table.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Secret Invasion is such a good comic line. It's such a good story. And also that was the comic strip that made me, the comic series that made me fall in love with Hawkeye and Mockingbird. So good. That whole series is great. And if that's the next big
Step.
thing that the Avengers have to face after Thanos, I'm here for it because it'll be completely different.
I hate the Skrulls, but I think
they look goofy as hell in the movie.
I just hate the Skrulls from the comics. Like I hate the characters.
Yeah, they're
But
pretty
I
crappy.
think they can make it work. I also didn't like Ultron before that movie, and I like him now. So Marvel
I
has
liked them less after the movie.
I love
Marvel
him.
has a thing about taking characters that like I'm about and then making me like them because I'm not super excited for this movie right now, but I feel like I'm gonna watch it and be like, yeah, I
It's a
dig
Marvel
it.
movie.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I'm
at
gonna
this
like
point,
it.
we're all just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
we're
like,
gonna
why is
see
there
it.
an
We're
Ant-Man
almost
movie? And I
obligated
watched
to.
this like I'm so glad there's an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
So glad there's two Ant-Man movies.
Also, to finish this off, I just want to say that I'm also very excited about Maria and Monica Rambeau.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was
No,
Colin's
my
number
number
three.
3, yeah.
He's
My
already number 3.
number 3 is Aladdin.
Woo!
Cool. Let's talk
I-
about it.
So I think most people would probably put Lion King higher than Aladdin, but for me, Aladdin was always more of my favorite Disney movie than Lion King was, to the point where my mom told me that when I was 5 years old, I told her that I wanted to be Aladdin when I grew up.
Those
Dope.
aren't really good goals, but like at the same time, like you
Aladdin's
do, you
just
I want to be homeless.
yeah,
Right?
I want to be
I
homeless
wanna
in a
be a
thief
bum.
apparently. But Aladdin's a cool dude, man. And
He has no nipples. It's weird.
I also feel like out of all the Disney animated movies, this is the one that best translates to a live action medium.
Yeah.
There's so much more
Yeah.
action. You've got the sword fighting going on. And I'm curious as to what Guy Ritchie, because I know Guy Ritchie's going to do a
he's-
great job with the action sequences,
Yeah.
with his editing and stuff. That's just his style. This thief type of thing will work for him. But the musical portions are the parts that I'm curious as to how that's going to look for him.
Yeah.
I'm also very curious because the costuming is very theatrical looking. And
Entertainment Weekly.
I like it. And I've seen a lot of people trash it, but I like it. And I want to see what this whole aesthetic of this film is going to be when everything comes together.
Yep.
I've never seen Mina Massoud in anything, but I'm a huge Naomi Scott fan, and I have been for almost 10 years now. Will Smith is playing the genie, and I think if anybody's going to try and if anybody's going to pay homage to Robin Williams, I think Will Smith was a good choice for that.
Yep.
And he will be blue, people. Calm down.
He will be blue. Yeah, he's already
Which
said
I am
that.
both looking forward to and afraid of.
Yeah, me too.
What is that going to be?
I am
Anticipation.
too.
Summed up what a genie should be.
That's
Something to
true.
look forward to and are slightly afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's really cool that they built a 2 football fields long set for Agrabah. It seems like one of those old school, like really excessive set pieces from back then. And that's really cool. And I think that the action sequences will be awesome because you can just...
And full control.
You
full
can
control over it.
Yeah, you can run through this entire set and with a camera and just... It could be the longest one shot ever.
I think
It won't be
Cuarón
because-
has that at 7 minutes.
It won't be because it's Guy Ritchie, but like... You know, it'll just be so cool to see us be able to move through Agrabah like it's a natural place. And I think that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to the music. They wrote a new song for Jasmine, and I'm ready to hear that because Naomi Scott has a beautiful voice, and
Now
I'm so ready.
She'll never
That is-
leave me.
I hope it does
Why
not
are
sound
you
like
like
that.
this?
She
Runs away.
I want to see Jasmine running down the sand dunes for like 40 minutes while he's singing the song.
Now I know I'll never marry.
Okay, Dallas, what's your
Dallas.
number 3? Because we're still on number 3.
In game.
Oh, Skip.
We'll skip.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Gabby, number 3.
My number 3 is It Part 2.
Jesse, are we skipping or is you
No. Sure, hers was above mine.
Oh,
I had mine at number 4.
Let's talk about
Ooh,
it.
Let's talk about it, baby.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
that's
we
okay.
spent too much time
That's fine.
together.
Gabby, talk about
Okay.
it.
No. Okay, so I don't like horror movies.
Yeah, which is why
Clearly.
we're
Let's start.
This is
And yet,
this is
And
why we're all
yet
surprised.
my top 3 are going to be a complete departure of what I just said.
Nice.
So my boyfriend made me watch it because he loves
Made you watch
horror. And because he loves horror and I don't like horror, but I love him. So here we are. And it was really good. And I could actually handle the movie. So ever since I saw that, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I can handle the second one. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's a good piece of filmmaking. And I'm just looking forward. And they released the cast of the older kids.
I do love the older cast though. Jessica Chastain,
Jessica Chastain,
James
James
McAvoy,
McAvoy, Isaiah
Mustafa. Love him.
Bill Hader. There's so many amazing people in that cast. So I'm just really looking forward to see the development of the characters. And also I want to see how these older folks fill in for the amazing job that the younger kids did. That was incredible.
Listen, for somebody who also hates horror movies, that older cast alone makes me almost want to watch the first one just so I can watch the second one.
I
First
love
one
that,
is
like,
really good.
Every actor was jumping to be in It Chapter 2 after the first one came out.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I want to
Yeah.
be in it. I want to be it. Jessica Chastain was like, I'll be in
I
it.
Yeah.
I don't need
Well,
an Oscar this
especially
year.
after her younger version said, "Yeah, I want Jessica Chastain
Oh, yeah.
to play older
And
me."
it was perfect. Everyone was calling it like Jessica Chastain.
Well,
Yeah, and it's perfect.
I was saying
Amy
Amy
Adams,
Adams because that's Amy Adams as a child.
I'm just going to throw Bryce Dallas Howard in
That's
there.
fair.
Let's cover all the
So
bases.
all the gingers.
All the redheads.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
as everybody knows, it was my favorite movie of last year. Here's what I'm worried about, though. So in the original 1990s miniseries, the worst part of that miniseries was the adult parts.
Right.
And in the book, the worst part of that book is the adult parts. So now we're getting a movie that's just the adult parts. And I'm
Well, it's not just the adult parts because there's going to be
There's gonna be
flashbacks.
flashbacks.
I have a question though. Is it that those are the worst parts because it's just not as interesting when it's adults? Like,
I think-
honestly, that could
well,
just be it.
It could be it. I also think, well, I mean, yes, that's what I'm worried about. Is are we not going to be as invested because they're adults and you just lose that
Charm.
childhood, the charm, the wonder that the original one had. Also, is Pennywise scary to adults as much as he is to kids?
He's scary
hells
to them.
yes, it's these specific kids.
Well, see, the thing is, I think you could argue that because Pennywise's whole thing is that he transforms into what you're afraid of, right?
Yeah.
See, I feel
He
like
is a bugger.
it could be worse for adults because you might not even know what your worst fear is. 'cause
You mean
just don't
That's
wanna
true. You
acknowledge
haven't
it.
thought about it in a while. It's not like
I
when
don't
you're
know.
a kid
Can
and you're
Pennywise
like, I don't like
transform into the
spiders.
thought that you're not going to be able to afford to pay for your own funeral?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So that's my number 3.
Oh man, I'm so upset that we haven't gotten the trailer for this yet
Yeah.
because
When does it come out?
October.
yeah, we
We're
have
not
time.
going to get
It'll
the
be a minute.
trailer
We have
till the
time.
summer.
But it's just
Although we're around that time.
Yeah.
We should be getting one soon.
It really depends.
A
It
teaser,
always depends.
certainly.
Well, because
Give
I'll
us
say
something.
with this one because it's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year now. Now we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one, it was just a horror movie that was coming out, but then it became the most successful thing ever. So
It became
It
the most
became the
successful
most successful
thing.
thing. So this one, they're anticipating now. Okay, we got a gigantic blockbuster on our hands.
yeah, and I know we're not going to. I know we're going to get flashbacks, but
Yeah.
part of the reason it's lower on my list is because my favorite thing about the first one was how well these kids did, and how amazing
Got
all
it.
these kids are. And it's like, yeah, the adult actors, I know they're great,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to have the same effect that I did watching these kids I've never seen before just act circles around everyone in Hollywood for 2
Yeah.
hours. But
Although I do like Bill
Still
Hader
about
as Richie, because that was the one I called.
That's perfect.
I just feel like It's going to be great.
Oh yeah,
So that's why it's really high on my list. I'm starting to slowly put my toes into horror, but
It's funny how horror is just making people do that now. It's
Nah.
getting too good
because
to
it's
ignore.
really good.
I'm good. I'll stay back
Well,
here.
even you're saying you're gonna you watch Split. You said you want to watch A Quiet Place. You're kind of sort of interested in watching it. So even you're doing it, little by little.
Not
more than you would
because,
before.
yeah,
Right.
not like because, I love the horror aspect. I'm just like, these look like
No, that's
good.
what I'm saying. But they're just good.
How would they
movies.
look
But
like
honestly,
good movies?
the fact that we got Gabby,
Right.
because Kayla and I sat down with Gabby at Buffalo Wild Wings and told her what happens in Split, and she almost had a panic attack.
What?
We were just
Yes.
telling her what happened.
And I
So,
had
like,
nightmares
The
from that.
synopsis took her out.
But
So
to
the fact
be
that she
fair,
has two
the
horror movies.
synopsis to Ring also took me out when I was a kid. This girl
Oh,
told me
That's
the synopsis.
scary.
Yeah.
No, that's scary.
The synopsis to The Ring is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, what's your number 2?
Oh yeah. Forgot that
We're
was Gabby.
still in this.
Oh, yeah, this is your number.
Okay, Jesus Christ. My number 1 and my number 2 were just fighting for dominance, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
So, after much deliberation
Oh, God.
and some deep soul searching,
Oh, God.
I think
You're
I have
so
landed
dramatic.
on my number 2 being Star Wars Episode.
Skip.
Well, Colin.
Okay.
Alrighty then. My number 2 is Shazam.
Hey.
Ooh,
Shazam.
We're
Shazam.
gonna do that every time.
Yes.
Shazam.
I mean,
This
we're
is a
not- We really
celebration.
should be shouting it, but we're not going to. Anyway,
Here, wait.
like,
Shazam!
Beautiful.
okay, that happened. I'm sorry. Hope you weren't listening with headphones, because, well,
Good morning.
Good.
oh man, like I don't know that much
Zachary
about the
Levi.
character, but like
oh my
that
God.
trailer just, it was
Yes.
like,
I feel
it
like
was like getting
trailer.
struck with the lightning bolt that turns him into Shazam. It's like, oh,
exactly.
oh
Okay,
man.
okay.
Wait, is
This
that the
is
kid
incredible.
from It? One of the ones that
No, I
yes,
don't think
yes, it is.
so.
Well, he's not
the one
Billy,
in the one in the
the disabled foster kid. Yeah.
Okay,
He's
cool.
Oh,
he's
you're not,
plays
talking.
Richie,
You're not
right?
talking
no,
about.
he plays Eddie.
Eddie.
So you're not
Who
talking about
Eddie?
Billy Batson.
No, not
No.
Billy. Billy Batson's not the kid from it, but his friend is.
His friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like
The
Billy
one-
Foster
Batson.
brother.
Gazebo's mom.
I was like Billy Batson's in a Disney TV show or something like that. Disney Channel. Or something.
Shazam looks great. I think primarily because it's like a kid gets superpowers.
Yes.
And then has to, but he's a kid. He's not even a teenager.
He's a kid.
And
He's
he
a kid.
has to like
Child.
wants to find out what he can do. Like that is so cool to me because
And it's fun.
But
it
even
just looks
better-
like they're gonna have fun.
But
that's
you-
the thing
yeah.
is that it doesn't focus. The trailer doesn't focus on I have to stop a villain. There's
Yeah.
a villain in it,
Well,
but he's
It's just like let's
in,
have a
like,
good
one
time figuring
shot.
out what I can do. What are my
Yeah,
limitations?
and I
But even then,
like-
it's not just that he's a kid. He's a kid who has no interest in superheroes until he gets his superpowers.
Exactly. Also, I feel like frequently Zachary Levi. I feel like he's very underrated in
So-
Hollywood,
so
and
I
I
agree with
love that he gets to be the main person. In
I didn't know much about Shazam. What made me care about this movie initially was Zachary Levi being cast because I am a huge Chuck fan, and
I always forget about Chuck, but then when I watch
Chuck
it, I'm like, this
is
is great.
Chuck is one of my favorite shows ever. And what I got out of that show was Zachary Levi and Yvonne Strahovski. And I'm so glad that both of them are doing well right now.
Yeah,
Zachary Levi getting to play an actual superhero and not
Yes.
just Fandral in Thor the
exactly.
Dark World.
That barely counted.
Like, I'm so excited. From the moment he got cast, I went, yes. This is
Yes.
I was like, this is the perfect superhero for Zachary Levi to play because
He's
like
super lighthearted. He
It's
already
funny.
proved that, and he has great comedic chops.
and secondly, B, I think I
To
probably would not have cared about a Shazam movie until I saw, other than
Bodacious
Zachary
plot.
Levi, until I saw that episode of Young Justice that solely depends on Shazam.
That was amazing.
Oh.
Same.
I was like, if you made a movie like this, I would be so here for that. There is such a great episode of Young Justice where Shazam is like the crux of the episode. And it's so great because he has to go back and forth between being an adult and being a kid so that he can save the day. And
It's such
so
a fun
good.
concept for a
funny.
superhero, and it just looks like I'm gonna have a great time, and it's gonna be like a really good like feel good movie.
I remember when Zachary Levi was cast, I was nervous because I knew personality wise he was perfect.
Yeah.
But size wise,
Size wise,
Oh, yeah,
you're
he's
supposed
a
to
small
look
dude.
like super.
and now
man.
he looks comically
Well, that's the thing is like they just
large.
patted the living crap out of the suit, and so we're good.
I mean, he worked out too, but
I'm
yeah.
sure he did, but that
Like, look
is,
at that costume.
that is all bad. We have the costume up on the screen right now, and
But
Yeah,
I think
it's a
that
little head on a
adds-
big body.
I think that just adds to the comedic
Yeah,
that's
value.
the thing.
It
But
works.
It fits the tone of the movie perfectly.
Yeah.
That he has this ridiculous costume.
Also-
it's so perfect.
Also, I'm hoping that Henry Cavill is indeed staying on to play Superman, and that DC eventually
not.
gets their stuff together.
They won't.
Because I would love to see Zachary Levi and Henry Cavill playing
Have
off
a
of each
nice
other as
interaction.
Shazam and Superman.
I agree.
That would be so good. So dope.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, it
that's
was really that
Shazam.
trailer that got me on board. I was like, oh, now all of a sudden I need.
And the crazy thing was that teaser released the same day as the Aquaman one, and we all came out of it going, the Shazam
Oh my
teaser is
God.
the better teaser
Yes.
out of both of these.
Yeah. How did I forget about Aquaman?
Like Shazam was the one that we all were way more excited to see after watching both of those trailers. The Shazam trailer is it's such a good trailer. And
It's amazing.
the second one is supposed to, if it hasn't already come out by the time this comes out, it's supposed to be coming out soon, according to Zachary Levi.
Like, oh my god, the shot of him walking down, like the
Shazam!
song or something, said
Lightning
Shazam.
bolt.
I
Oh
was like,
man,
oh,
that
yes.
shot is so good.
That's the thing that pops when you say they're making a Shazam movie. That's the shot I need to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they did it. They put it in the
did and
trailer.
it was perfect and it was great. And I really think it's going to suck because it's a DC movie. But until
No,
then-
no, I'm
until the
holding
movie
out
comes out.
hope.
If
this
this
is
turns
gonna
out
be
to
delightful.
be as good as Wonder Woman, I'm so down.
Yeah.
I'm still upset that we cast Black Adam 30 years ago.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now
And he's not
we
even
get the
in this movie.
Shazam announcement. And I'm like, cool, I'm here for it because The Rock is Black Adam, and I've been waiting. And then you tell me he's not in the movie, and I'm like, you know what,
No,
guys?
because
What
he's
was
only
the
Black
point?
Adam in his own movie. The
Just
Rock
like-
doesn't do second
Just
film
like,
anymore.
come on, guys. And then I got
Why
the
do you
trailer,
think
and
he
I'm
has a
like,
Fast and Furious
I'm
spinoff?
I
fine
was like,
with
yeah, he can't even be in the ensemble piece that is Fast and Furious. He was like, nah, it's my franchise now.
Ah, man.
So
at
who's
me.
number two
It
was
ain't
that?
Sean
My-
Hobbs.
This is my.
Hobbs.
Yeah, who's
My
number two?
franchise.
I'm the star now.
Who's number two was that?
That was.
Mine.
Okay,
yours.
cool. So my number two is Avengers Endgame.
Skip.
My number
That
two
was-
is Spider-Man, Far
Sorry,
From
are
Home.
we boring you, sir?
I thought
Spider-Man?
that would be your number one.
No.
Did you really? Okay.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Far From Home.
So Star Wars is number one?
No.
Yes. Star Wars episode,
Absolutely.
whatever's next.
Far From Home looks so
Tell
much,
us about Far
I mean,
From Home,
I can't really
Dallas,
say much,
and
but,
how you feel.
Based off of the pictures, it looks fun.
It's so
It's the thing, it's like I don't know
it's so
anything
crazy that
about
we're gonna have a
Okay,
Spider-Man movie.
But I know
Look,
it's
I
Spider-Man.
have been following Zendaya, Tom
Holland.
Holland,
Yeah,
basically everybody that Tony Revolorian. What's the other guy's name? The man in the chair. I forget his name.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know. Is it
Jacob
why can't I think of his
Jacob.
name?
I can never remember.
Jacob, yes.
Him.
Trembling.
I've been
Jacob Batalon.
following all of them on Instagram, and they were filming Spider-Man Far
For
From
a
Home
while.
in Europe, and they would go out and hang out all weekend
Oh, yeah, they're
throughout
having
Europe.
fun.
And I was like, this was about to be a great time. If
It's
these
gonna be
kids are just out here hanging out, and this is going to be great.
Also, the set photos from Europe look like really fun. The two new Spider-Man costumes
Oh
look
my God.
really cool.
Yeah.
And also, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
Yes.
Ooh.
And here's the thing about that.
That explains his first Instagram post. I was so
Yes.
You
confused.
didn't understand that?
I was so confused. He's like, wait a minute, I'm not playing Spider-Man? I was like, why?
Because he's playing
focus-
Mysterio.
Yeah,
and
that's
that has
what it
been in
is.
the news for more than a year
Nope.
now.
It's been
Such a huge Jake
didn't know
Gyllenhaal.
that.
But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor, and I am the fan of Mysterio.
Here's the thing.
You
I
are
like
the fan.
Mysterio. It's the costume.
No.
that
I
I'm about.
really like like as a kid watching Spider-Man cartoons. Mysterio was awesome to me. It was like, I don't know how you work or what you are, but I dig the weird fishbowl thing you got. I like the cape and all these weird special effects. And doing that in live action could be amazing.
Yes.
Like how many ways he could just mess with Peter. Like I am hyped, and they got a great actor to play him.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He
hyped.
is the best level of any Spider-Man game. To the point where in this new Spider-Man PS4 game, they did not have Mysterio, and they just made Scorpion a Mysterio level. Like they gave that to Scorpion.
Wow.
We need the Mysterio level. So that's why I've always loved Mysterio.
I'm hyped.
I don't know anything
I need to
about
see that costume.
I don't know anything about
It's
Mysterio.
live action.
I just really like Jake Gyllenhaal.
You know what his costume
and
looks like?
I know what his costume looks like.
Oh boy.
I love
Like
it.
I don't
love it so
I don't know
much.
if there's ever been a more difficult costume.
And
I
I
haven't
adapt.
And I've
seen
seen
it.
Oh, you gotta-
I've seen the
Wait, the Mysterio costume?
Mysterio
oh, yeah, I was
costume
looking at it right now.
I've seen the
is
onset
something.
photos of Jake Gyllenhaal.
I have
Right,
to.
he's not wearing the
He's
fishbowl.
not well,
But
I
we
feel like
heard
they're
that
gonna
he will
add
be.
that in.
not that we know of. It
I
might
want
be a
it.
CGI.
No, I think it's going to be CGI, but they said
Yeah.
there will be a fishbowl.
I want
yeah,
the
there's going to be a
fishbowl.
fishbowl.
Fantastic.
So yeah, but you know,
see.
Yeah,
anytime
Mysterio
I,
was terrifying. I
works.
remember him from the comics now.
but
that I saw the photo
anytime
of
I
him.
get to watch Tom Holland play Spider-Man, I am down. Like,
Exactly.
let's
He's
go.
perfect. He is
Well,
Peter Parker.
Well, here's the thing, though, but he's dead, guys.
Shut up.
so
Oh my God, moving forward.
he might not.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh, it's my turn.
Number two.
Ooh. Okay, so my number 2 is Zombieland 2.
Nice.
I have been waiting for this sequel. It's 2 for 3 so far
All
on
right.
horror for
I
Gabby.
love. We gonna. I
Ooh.
mean, I guess
It's horror
it's a horror
comedy.
movie, yeah.
It's horror comedy.
Doesn't have to be scary to be a horror movie.
Exactly. Anyway, so basically I've been waiting for the sequel since the first one came out, and I found out just before we started filming or recording that this has a sequel.
So,
and it's
So
the
in the
whole
past 2
cast.
minutes, you decided to put this on.
No, not right now. Like when we started recording today.
so I gotta say that I'm on board with that because
The full cast is coming
even
back.
though I don't like horror movies, I freaking love Zombieland.
Zombieland
Yeah, it's a comedy.
For a while.
Fantastic.
It's a fantastic movie. I'm almost a little scared though because I'm like, and anticipation, as we said, I'm just a little scared because like I want it to be good, and I'm afraid like, what if it's not? Like,
Yeah. Again, it counts as a comedy sequel. So
Yeah.
again, it falls into those rules of good luck.
Yeah.
You know?
I
But
don't
man,
know.
that-
I trust it.
that
And
Bill
even
Murray
if it doesn't,
sequence.
I'm just
Oh
glad
my
that I'm
God.
getting a sequel.
Probably the greatest cameo in movie history.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Also-
great as himself.
Also, Amber Heard's cameo in that movie is also really fun.
It's funny. It was my introduction to
Oh.
everybody except for Abigail Breslin and Woody Harrelson. So I guess that's just Jesse
I'd seen
Eisenberg and Emma
all of
Stone.
them before.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
just,
introduction to Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone. Because I think
Was it my intro to Jesse Eisenberg? Easy A came out 2 years later because this was
Yeah.
2008. But I had seen Emma Stone in Superbad.
that's right. She's in Superbad.
Superbad was like everyone's introduction to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot
That's
about
right.
that.
Yeah,
But-
that was her first
Yeah, I love
movie, I
Zombieland.
think.
And I always was mad because they never thought we would get a sequel because they said we can't afford them anymore. Because after the movie came out, they all got really big and expensive.
Oh yeah.
And so that was just, nope, sorry. And then we were going to do the TV show with a different cast, but playing the same characters. And I was like, no.
That's stupid. Even though I liked the cast.
That's the thing. Is that's the reason I wanted a sequel is because
Yeah.
the characters.
And
I
it was
really liked
the
characters.
4 most random people in the world, but it
Right.
worked.
You
and
would
it,
never expect that cast to get together ever.
And it's such a great chemistry. It's such a great concept. And I
Oh my
think
God.
at that point we'd only had like Hot Fuzz be, or not Hot Fuzz,
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the
Dead.
Dead
Zombie
be the
comedy.
horror comedy zombie movie. And this was just
Now we have Anna and the Apocalypse.
yeah.
True
And,
story.
And Zombieland.
and this was like a refreshing take on a horror zombie movie.
Okay, but the
Comedy.
grocery store scene, I forgot about that.
That was
Dude,
great
the
too.
I don't know what do you call it, the little
The antique
middle of
shop
the antique
thing?
shop. Yes,
Yeah.
that's my
Also,
favorite
I
scene.
liked all his rules, and they put them on the screen.
I was just-
And
That
then
was great.
whenever they applied the rule, they also
I was
kind
just
of
about
brought
to
up.
That was
say
great.
that the rules, I sometimes just quote those rules randomly.
Always double tap.
Always
Yeah.
double
Oh, yeah,
tap.
double tap.
Always double
Always.
tap.
Here we are.
Welcome to our show.
Hi.
Always double
But
tap.
also, okay, so this movie is made by people who made 2 of my favorite movies from last year because the director made Venom and the writers wrote Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1.
Very nice.
So it's like they know how to write a comedy sequel.
Yeah, they do.
and
definitely do.
I'm freaking hyped.
Yeah.
Also, it's the same people who made the first movie. So I'm like,
Yeah. So this is going to
yeah,
be
everything's
hopefully,
the same. It's just 10 years later.
Hopefully
It's
the
so
recipe
weird to see a
for
30-year-old
for
Abigail
winning.
Breslin. in the
No,
movie.
God.
Yeah.
She's young.
That's going to be interesting.
She's going to be like in her mid 20s
we're
and
almost
we're
30.
going to be like, what? What is this?
Oh, I saw her in Scream
You're a
Queen, so
grown-up
I'm
now?
already there.
It's like Joey King
I've already
all
had
over
that
again.
moment.
Nah,
Oh,
see,
she was in
here's the
Final
thing.
Girl.
Joey King
Nobody saw that movie.
aged 10 years
She was in
five.
Scream Queens. It was great.
I don't watch that.
It was
Also don't
that
watch
show's great.
All right.
I'm so hyped.
Okay, what's your number 1, Jesse?
Number one.
We are
Alright,
there.
number one.
I'm so proud of
My
all
number
of you.
one is Endgame. I can't believe we got here. So
Yep.
Oh my
Avengers Endgame.
God, Avengers Endgame. Who else is
because
number 1?
I need to know what happens.
Is that anybody else's number 1?
Is that anyone? I thought it was somebody else's number 1. I guess not.
No, y'all just leaving me hanging.
It's my
No, it
number.
was everyone's like, I think
It- yeah.
everyone has said Endgame except for me at this point.
Yeah, it was my number.
Oh, yeah.
No, I said
It's on our
Endgame.
honorary
It was
list.
my number 10, I think.
Colin?
He's not looking forward to that
No,
movie.
it was not on my list.
Colin doesn't like superheroes.
It's
Oh my
yeah,
God.
It was
What is wrong
number
with you?
it was number 2 on my list. It's
And number 3 on mine.
Okay.
And number 1 on
3,
mine.
2,
Skip.
1.
Could have been number 2. It was
Sure.
debating, but I think of the two between this and Star Wars, I'm interested in to see how Star Wars ends, but I really, really need to see how Avengers ends.
Yeah.
If somebody put a gun to my head and said you get to watch one movie, like I just need to know how this all ends. I need to know what the end game is. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it all ends. I'm pretty sure time travel is going to be involved, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see
About that,
We'll see.
what.
oh boy, Samuel L. Jackson was doing some talking,
oh no,
and he straight up said that Captain Marvel can time travel,
what?
which is not a power she has.
She
So-
So
wait,
that's how we're getting
what?
here from
Or
the
maybe
90s to
he
modern
just
day,
like
huh?
misunderstood some stuff.
He
In the
said
plot.
she
Spoiled
can
the movie.
time travel. Like,
He
Well,
Mark
the thing
Ruffalo'd
is
it.
though, Captain Marvel herself is not the reason why everybody else in the movie is going to time travel. It's going to
right,
be
but if she
Well,
has
also
the power
Ant-Man
to
can
travel
do
through
it.
time,
well,
maybe she
Ant-Man
can
can
make
do it
other
because of the
Strange
time.
can do
Well,
it.
here's the thing. Ant-Man can do it because of the time vortex.
Mhm.
And the thought right now is that whatever
There's a stone out there that can do it.
yeah, but like I guess you can just harness the power of the vortex into some piece of technology because they're all wearing the same wristband in the set pictures.
They're also all wearing. There are leaked toys that show them all wearing.
Yes,
what
wearing
looks
the
like
all
Hank
white.
Pym's,
Yeah, the all white suits.
Suit from
They're getting matching costumes, guys.
That's very X-Men of them.
Very adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there really more to say about Avengers Endgame except
No, I
that we
think
really
we
just want to see
I also
how it
did all
ends?
to
love the
death.
fact that the trailer was all character based. It wasn't like, ooh, look at this big. It wasn't like Infinity War was. Look at this big
Like dun,
epicness,
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
huge,
Because-
sweeping shots, explosions. It was.
I think that's
here are
because-
the characters that you.
And I think that's
At
because
this
the first
point-
one was supposed to be the epic battle, and this one's going to be
This is us
more
picking
emotional.
up where we left.
This is the more emotional one, not only because we're picking up where we left off in the aftermath of everything that happened, but this is us probably saying goodbye to a number of characters that
Yeah.
we've had for the last 10 years.
That's
And so I
true.
really like, how emotional that trailer was, and it focused on.
I still haven't been able to see it.
Because at this point, I'm pretty sure we're saying goodbye
I'm
to
not
Tony
gonna see
Stark
it.
and we're saying goodbye to Steve Rogers.
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
love that. Apparently, according to Kevin Feige, all the marketing is going to be from the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Boom. Thank God.
I don't believe
That
him.
is really smart.
I like the concept.
Let's
That's
assume
really,
everything
really
they say
smart.
about
No, no,
MCU
no.
movies is a lie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Here's
hoping
the
that it
thing,
actually
though.
is.
We literally
I hope it
had
is
the
too.
argument about how much you could put into this movie. So that first 15 minutes could feel like an hour because there's just going to be so many characters
good
and so
point,
much
'cause
going
you-
on. And
If you had only advertised the first 15 minutes of Infinity War, you still get what looks like the climactic battle in New York,
That's
Yeah.
true.
and Thanos blowing up
yeah,
Thor's ship and all that. Like all of that could be the finale of any other movie.
Yep.
Also,
Okay.
I'm excited because some of my favorite characters are finally they're gonna be in the forefront of this film.
And then die,
I'm excited to see. Black Widow's not dying because supposedly she's getting her own movie.
which might be a
We
prequel.
shall see.
It's gonna come out with New Mutants.
Might be.
Colin, what's your number one?
They're opening on the same weekend. Oh, also Ronan. I'm excited to see Ronan.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Ronan.
Hawkeye
Yeah.
as Ronan.
Not
Let's
Ronan.
Not
go.
Ronan.
Not Ronan. Ronan.
Ronan.
Yeah. Also, I'm excited to see Ronan in Captain
Also,
Marvel.
the kid from Iron Man 3 is supposed to be coming back for
That's
this.
weird.
What is
I
he
get
doing
it.
here?
I get it. We're
Yeah,
bringing.
we haven't
We're
seen
bringing
him.
everybody
We
into this
haven't
movie. But
seen
like, do
him.
we need to bring everybody?
Also,
we haven't seen him in 5
Valkyrie's
years.
going to be in this movie. We're going to find out what the heck happened to her.
We're getting the kid from Iron Man 3, but we still ain't getting Daredevil. What the hell?
Yeah. What
We
the
can't
heck?
get Betty Ross back. What's happening here?
Come on. Apparently, she snapped away. Did you hear about that?
What?
Yeah, they confirmed Betty Ross
How
is dead.
dare
Which
you?
one's Betty Ross?
The Hulk's love interest in his movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not Natasha Romanoff. We don't accept that here.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about
We
that.
don't do
we don't
that
talk
here.
about
We
that.
don't.
Okay,
Colin?
what's
Colin,
your
what's your number one?
Number one.
Okay.
What obscure gay indie rom-com is your number
Oh
one?
my god!
excuse you, I don't know about those coming out this year, but if you know
What
of any, let
random
me
anime?
know.
I will Google
What?
what random what gay indie
What
romance
Japanese
anime
gay indie?
starring a robot in a
We are the worst kind of people.
I didn't say any of this.
I'm so sorry, Colin.
Colin, what's your number one?
Let me like things, you fucks.
I'm so glad you like these things, Colin.
Are you?
You bring diversity to the group.
You really do. So much diversity.
Without you, we wouldn't have heard of any of those movies.
Yes.
I'm googling it. Gay movies coming out.
Yo, let me know. Well, actually,
Let me know.
I mean, there was one I was thinking of putting on the list, but that's on.
Okay, tell us what your number one most anticipated is,
We
Colin.
got Colin.
All right. So, my number one is Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
That's right. I
Because-
forgot that was on his
Here's
list.
the thing.
Oh my god, I
It's
forgot
weird
that was
that
on your list.
almost fits.
Based on an anime, Ryan Reynolds is in it, who plays
Gay
Dave
stuff in there,
General.
I'm sure. There's robots. There's fish.
I would like to formally announce that I am quitting the reshoots effective immediately. Good fucking bye.
Yeah, good run.
Shit
So
run.
sorry.
You had a good run, Colin. You
I'm
lasted longer than you
surprised he
expected.
lasted this long.
So yeah,
Better run the Gabby.
so Detective Pikachu
Yeah.
Yes.
looks like a lot of fun.
Talk
It
to us
looks
about why you're afraid of
super
Detective
interesting.
Pikachu, Colin.
See, yeah, this
I know
is
your anticipation is based on
exactly what Jesse said at the beginning of this, which is that anticipation can also involve some fear.
That's
I am
been the theme.
so afraid of this movie.
Listen, Mr.
don't-
Mime, whatever the heck that Pokemon's name is.
Here's my thing. I have been a fan of Pokemon since
man.
the first games came out in like
Yes.
98.
Yeah.
Since we were small
And
children.
here's my thing.
20 years ago.
There has been a trend since Pokemon came into existence, mainly on DeviantArt and on Tumblr and various places of
Making
like,
realistic
what
versions.
if Pokemon were real? Every single one of those, without exception, I hate.
Really?
I hate them. I think
Thanks, I
they're
hate it.
terrible. They make me upset. It's one of those things like some things in animation are just not meant to translate, and that's fine. Leave it as animation. The Pokemon look adorable, and also they have creepy enough backstories as it is. Like so many of them, like they murdered children. It's like a whole thing. Like
Damn.
I hate
Damn, Japan.
the whole let's make it live action thing. I hate the look of it. It just makes me upset. I don't want Pokemon to be real if they look like that.
I think the
So
Pikachu
you like
in
the
this.
So
Roger
you
Rabbit
don't like the
look of the-
aesthetic.
Oh God, I hate it. It just makes me so
Listen,
uncomfortable.
I think this live action Pikachu looks
Then
like
why do
Did
you
see
like
Psyduck?
this? Why
Did
are
you
you?
see it? Did you see what it looks like?
No, but like,
Psyduck
why are
is
you?
frightening.
It's
looking.
awful.
Okay, here's my thing though.
Psyduck is
Then
weird.
why are you? Why is this your number one then?
He's afraid of it.
I'm anticipating.
It's the
it.
fear.
You can
Anticipation.
anticipate a car that's about to hit you. You don't like that car, but you're anticipating that it's going to hit you.
The thing
Like,
is,
He's very afraid.
That's what this is.
it looks fun. It looks like it's going to be a
It just looks
Deadpool
like it's
Pikachu
gonna be
movie.
a great time.
No, see, that's my problem. I do not want Ryan Reynolds in this movie
Oh,
because it's just going to be Deadpool all
Doesn't
over
sound-
again.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get you.
And I don't want Deadpool in a
Deadpool
movie
Pikachu.
that isn't Deadpool. Like, if he's going to be Deadpool in Deadpool, that's
See,
fine.
I don't.
It feels like
I
he's
don't
playing
get
the
the sense
same
that he's
character
going
in
to
it.
be
I agree.
Deadpool just because it's Ryan
But also,
Reynolds'
like-
voice.
It's
But
the way
it's a
that
performance.
it's the
yeah.
way that he performs
I
his jokes in
guess.
this trailer. Jigglypuff looks frightening as all get out.
Well, Jigglypuff is fine because I think they're going with the whole anime thing with Jigglypuff, which is that Jigglypuff is there and she sings and everyone falls asleep and she gets mad and she draws on people. So if they're going for
but,
that, then
like,
yeah, she should.
No,
look
no,
kinda
I'm saying
frightening.
it looks frightening though. That fur, frightening.
No, but yeah, I think that's the point. She's just not supposed to look like a happy creature because Jigglypuff never has been.
But here's the thing: I love the cast of this movie because I already love
Sure.
like outside of Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds because Deadpool.
Same.
But Justice Smith, I've loved him since The Get Down. He's amazing.
Same.
Catherine Newton is on, or she's been in episodes of Supernatural, but I particularly enjoyed her in the spin-off episode that was supposed to lead to a spin-off and didn't happen.
Oh yeah. Bloodlines or something.
Wayward Sisters.
Yeah, that.
But yeah, she was good in that. So I'm excited to see. I didn't even realize she was in this until like last week. So I'm excited to see her in this too. But yeah, I'm a Pokemon fan. And I thought this movie seemed ridiculous when it was announced. And it still looks ridiculous, but it looks ridiculous in a fun way. So let's do
Thing
this.
is,
That's
they
my thing.
had me when they announced it. I was like, all right, this is interesting. Alex Hirsch signed onto it, and I will watch anything he does. But now he's not involved with it at all anymore. So like, I'm less enthused. I just
Doesn't sound like a number one.
well,
Wait, I get it.
He's
Anticipation.
afraid.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not anticipation in a good way.
I'm
Yeah,
worried
yeah.
that this movie will fundamentally change what Pokemon is to the world
Yeah.
in a
that's
way
good
that
point.
they've already done in the past couple years. I mean, Pokemon Let's Go literally has changed the entire franchise.
Pokemon Go.
That Pokemon Go, I'm sorry, Let's Go was the
Let's go.
well, no, I mean Let's Go was the result of that change. But I'm worried that like I don't want this to be what people think of when they think of Pokemon because it's not what
Yeah.
Pokemon has always
I
been.
agree. It feels like a spin-off to a franchise that hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. And like I guess this is soothed somewhat by the fact that they are either remaking the first movie or making a sequel to the first Pokemon
Ooh,
movie.
let's go.
Yeah, they're making another Mewtwo movie, and I'm super excited about that
Oh
one.
Okay.
my gosh, that was such a good
So I
movie.
think that will sort of
Live action?
no animation.
Okay.
Animation.
That's what it, like I'm a, you know, but like
See, here's my thing. If you're gonna make it live action, cool. If you're gonna make it animated, cool. I feel weird about the fact that this is a live action movie with the Pokemon are still animated.
well, that's fine
And
because
they look like
Lion King
cartoons.
is doing that too.
No,
How would
the
they
Lion
not
King
be?
looks like a real lion. Like the whole point is it's supposed to be live action. Whereas Pokemon are like, nah, they're not even trying. They're just going.
To be fair,
They're keeping them as cartoons.
The
These
CGI might
things
have,
don't exist in
To
real
be
life.
fair, that's the thing is that these are not. How would you do this and make them look real?
Like how you make a
Those are
Mr.
the
Mime look
things.
real?
Things.
That's
Also,
horrifying.
here's the thing: you can't make it look real because if you go too far, you're going to end up with an ice cream cone that talks to you.
No, I understand what you're saying, but we have seen on the internet.
Oh my god!
Like even our stuff, we've seen people make realistic versions of Pokemon, and they're great.
Well, to
They're
be
great versions of that that feel and look like the Pokemon that we know and love, but they just look like
Well,
real
that's
creatures.
the thing is that it only goes so far. If you stop going off of the ones that are based on animals, which they stopped doing really quickly, do you want a sentient garbage bag? 'Cause
No.
that's Gen 5. Welcome to it. You don't want that.
Well, also,
No
we're
one
probably not
wants
going to get
that.
to Gen 5 for a while. We would
No,
start.
they're
in
having
any Pokemon
Gen 5 is
movie, we
in
would
this
start
movie.
With, well,
They
again,
named-
this is weird.
No, but they
But
name
you would
dropped
expect
at
them to
least-
start with Charizard and
Well, and they
Squirtle
will,
and
but like
Pikachu.
they also pick Greninja, which is from I think Gen
Yeah, that's weird.
5 or 6. They're going all out, And I'm afraid because I don't want to see the sentient garbage bag. I don't want to see the sentient ice cream cone, but they're going to make me look at it with my own eyes, and I don't deserve that.
I just want to say, with the exception of the garbage bag and ice cream cone thing, I disagree with everything Colin said in the last 5 minutes. I did not care at all about this movie when it was announced. I was
Until I saw the trailer.
I was like, Detective what? What? Pikachu. It just
Why
Pika
would they
Pika? I
do
was like, oh, it
this?
talks. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's Pikachu. I was a Pokemon fan up to like Gen 2, and then I stopped caring. And then I saw this trailer, and I was like, I'm about it.
I stopped caring when they turned them into hieroglyphics.
Oh,
was Gen 2.
I remember
That Gen 2?
That was Gen 2.
that movie. I liked that movie,
yeah.
actually.
And also, it's just like, this just looks fun. And I feel like we don't need to be all gatekeepy about Pokemon and like
Sure.
what it should be and what it can't be. It's like, you can enjoy the original things. You can enjoy the anime. You can enjoy the animated stuff. And then you can have this as well. I don't think we need to make sure that Pokemon just stays this one thing. Because this is still Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really weird story and a
gosh.
So that's
really
why I call it,
weird
it's like a Roger
visual.
Rabbit thing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you got the live action, then you got the... But yeah,
'Cause the
that's
thing is,
kind of
I'm
different.
not just saying that they're animated because they use CGI to make them. That every movie does that. I'm saying that they look animated. They went with cartoon design.
Yeah, but Roger Rabbit's a whole thing because they lean into it like
Right.
in that world, they don't look real. To these
Yeah.
people, these Pokemon look real.
And to
Which
be
is
fair,
weird,
I think the
because they-
CGI, it could get better. This is only the first teaser.
I'm
Again,
fine
not
with it,
talking
'cause
about- the
Pikachu's
CGI looks
freaking
fine.
adorable.
I'm talking about the designs. The designs are, they look like the cartoons.
They're monster designs.
I mean, that's how monsters look in this world.
That's how
Whatever.
they look. Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point
That Psyduck is horrifying. Though.
the point is,
Just gonna say
Colin is decently terrified about what this movie's going to be. To the point where it's his number one on his most anticipated list.
Yes.
Yes, he's that afraid of it. He's more afraid of this movie than he is excited for any of the other movies on his list, which is saying something.
All right, so
Oh, Pikachu.
my number one is Star Wars Episode 9, which
Shocker.
does not have a subtitle yet, but I am excited. Jesse said if you put a gun to his head, he would have to see how Avengers ends. If you put a gun to my head, I have to know how the Star Wars saga ends. This movie is... I think I will always be more emotionally attached to Star Wars than I will ever be to the Avengers movies, because Star Wars is what made me want to be a filmmaker in the first place. And it's what made me start writing. And so I have to know how this ends. I love these characters to pieces. And it's also going to be the last time we see Carrie Fisher on the big screen. And I
Rest
have
in
to be there
peace.
for that. I'm so excited. The sequel has some of my favorite characters in the Star Wars, like as an ensemble in the Star Wars universe. And I mean, outside of the original, obviously, because the original Star Wars movies have all the best characters. But yeah, I cannot wait for Episode 9. I cannot wait for us to get a teaser, a name. Star Wars is going to have quite the year next year.
It's going to be called From a Nap.
But with this being Episode 9 and being possibly the last saga movie that we get from Star Wars, I mean, it might be the last saga movie. It might just be the end of this
It
saga.
will be the last Saga movie for at least the next 3 to 5 years.
No, they said at least 10 at the very least.
I don't believe them.
So, I mean, to be fair, they have a bunch of other stuff lined up. So 3 to 5 years, I doubt it.
I will say, if any movie just needs to be good, like for the sake of humanity, I think Star Wars
For
Episode
humanity?
9. Yes.
That seems
Because
a little
this
extreme.
past year has
It
been
is.
such a dark time, especially for Star Wars fans. Like, we just need this movie to bring people together again.
It's been a dark time for
The
you.
way Force Awakens brought people together. Like, we need that again. We just,
The,
for the love of
the
all
toxic side of the
things.
fan base is not going to allow that to happen.
But the toxic
so.
side of the fan base has been taken over because Last Jedi was divisive and Solo was meh. So
It's funny because most people who didn't go see Solo because they didn't like Episode 8 end up going to see Solo on DVD and they're like, oh, I should have seen this in theaters. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should
You
have, but you
should
missed
have.
out. So whatever.
too late now.
But yeah, Episode 9, I'm excited. And
So did solo DVD sales do well?
yeah, they've done extraordinarily well.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I can't wait. There is very rarely ever a movie I'm more excited to see than Star Wars. This is,
That's your number one.
yeah, it's my number one. There's nothing more to say.
I-
Until we see a trailer or a teaser, there's nothing more that I can say except that I'm just excited at the idea of what Episode 9 can be and how this is going to resolve everything that we've seen in the last 2 movies.
I am still super excited for
Yeah.
it. That's why I was going back and forth with Endgame as my.
See, it's
as my
funny.
number
I didn't
one.
have as much of a conflict as you
Well,
did.
of course,
I
'cause
was,
you're automatically going to put a Star Wars at number 1.
and I was like,
For me, it was, it's what have you done for me lately? And Marvel just gave me the best
see,
year
to
ever.
be
Star
fair,
Wars gave me the worst year. And
be
I
fair,
knew
I love-
that was going to be.
I love
Yeah.
The Last Jedi more than I love Infinity War. So
That's fair.
All right. Yeah. that's-
Jesse
But
was
I'm just saying, as
brain
far as,
almost
like, the
broke at that
fandom.
statement.
I don't. I'm not gonna let the
You just
fandom
paused for
dictate
a
how
little too
excited
long.
I
So
am
it's
for
like his
something.
brain broke a little bit at that
Little bit.
statement.
I didn't hear what you said either to me.
I
Well,
said
you guys keep talking to me at the same time, and I got to listen to one of you.
I said I'm not gonna let the fandom dictate how excited I am for something.
Well, it's just, I mean, like I was saying about something. I think I was saying it about Infinity War. Was like I love the feeling in the air in the lead up to a movie, and the lead up to Endgame. The feeling in the air is just so much better right now than the feeling in the air for Star Wars.
Like I said, that doesn't dictate how
it,
excited I
it
am.
really, to me, that's what makes these movies. It's the reason I'm a movie fan is because of that feeling. But I'm still super stoked. I really want to see what happens. I really want to see just how JJ wraps up all 3 trilogies, because he said this will be an end to Star Wars, not an end to this particular trilogy. This is going to be the end. So,
Oh, so
again,
he's lying.
I don't believe him.
Okay, cool.
He's definitely lying. Disney is not going to have. Disney didn't acquire that for.
That's
$4
basically the moral of the story.
billion.
If Disney makes a statement, they lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to be
Why?
but
fair,
I'm curious to see
Always
how he does it. I'm sure JJ will try to do that, and I'm curious to see how he does it. Just
Ray,
please, for the love of God, be good.
Ray, Finn, Poe, and Kylo. I am
And
so
BB-8, who became the most powerful character in the galaxy in The Last Jedi.
I'm excited to see what you guys do in this next film and where your stories end up. Dallas, what's your number 1?
The Lion King.
Nah! It's
Why are
Avengers!
you like this?
We ask this almost every podcast, and
We
I
do.
don't know why you
We do.
continue to.
So yeah, you take my favorite movie of all time,
Mhm. And my favorite
And
animated
add
movie of all time.
Our Lord
Yeah.
and Savior.
and you put Gabby's Lord and Savior, Donald Glover, in the role of probably my favorite movie character ever, Simba. It's number 1. It's number 1. I can probably just put it at my number 1 favorite movie of the year right now.
I feel like
The only
Spider-Man's also
thing
coming out.
The only thing that makes me a little bit worried is some of the magic of the way they animated the first movie
Yeah.
can't be done this way.
One thing I'm genuinely worried about is, as much as I loved the Jungle Book, Jon Favreau's Jungle Book,
Right.
my big thing was the facial expressions on those animals.
Uh-huh.
There weren't any facial expressions on
can't-
those animals because of how realistic they were going with it.
Exactly.
And
It's
that
so
was-
realistic. And like you see the lion in the teaser
Yeah.
roaring.
For
And I'm
Lion
like, even as the little one,
Mhm.
the look on Simba's face when he first sees the antelope running down,
Yeah.
you can't do that in fake live action.
Right.
So I'm like, you guys have to give me something because if it's shot for shot, I'm gonna love it because I love that story, but I can't love it as much. So you have to give me
Yeah.
something new.
I don't
can't-
think.
it
I
can't
think
beat it in the
regardless, you're not going to love it as much.
I don't know because if they do something different with it, then I could love what they do to a point where I'm like,
Right.
I can love it not more, but at least as much.
So my thing is with Jungle Book and with Cinderella, which are my 2 favorite of the
Agreed.
live action remakes.
Mhm.
Cinderella and Jungle Book, the animated movies, had room to improve. Beauty and the Beast and Lion King, and I'll even throw Aladdin in there maybe.
Mhm.
Don't. I
Yeah.
feel like that
Those
was the
Right.
came out in like the 90s
right.
Renaissance.
I liked Beauty and the Beast, the live action one.
Mhm.
But the problem is when you change something that's perfect,
Right,
that change inevitably makes it worse.
right. It can't go up.
So, and I
They
don't
were
think that's
already
a
at
rule,
the
like,
top.
That has to be the rule, but I think that's what happened. And I'm worried that could happen with Lion King.
I'm not as worried because to me, a movie that, they say nothing's perfect. A movie that I could say if there's a perfect movie, for me, Incredibles. Incredibles 2, I don't think it's not an improvement, but I don't think it made it worse either.
Right,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Incredibles 2 is a different story. It's a sequel. It's not telling the exact
That's
same
true.
story again.
That's
it's
true.
different.
We'll
So
see how they do it.
we'll see how we do it. Now,
Also, what are you going to say?
I was going to say the most important question: is it live action or is it animated?
It's animated. Stop it.
It's both.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Journalism.
Technically, it is both.
It is not.
And everybody asking how.
It's neither.
Everybody who's asking how it's live action, these actors did actually have to not just do voice
They did
stuff. There is
mocap,
acting involved. There is mocap stuff involved. So they are acting technically in a live.
Well, I mean, when people do voice acting, it's still acting.
Well,
Like,
no,
I
but
understand your
yeah,
sentiment.
they are physically putting forth a
Donald
performance
Glover
on
was
a camera.
all fours,
Yeah.
on top of a giant rock.
Wouldn't be surprised. What was I
I'm
gonna say?
excited about Keegan Michael Key
Oh.
again.
I'm excited for every part of this cast, and I don't have time
I'm
to go through
excited
all of
about
it.
every part of this cast except Beyonce.
Really?
I don't think Beyonce is a great actress.
I think she's fine.
She's
But
fine.
is
That's
she
the
a good
problem.
voice actress.
She is fine.
Yes, I think she is a good voice actress. But I see what you were saying, that she has more of a regal voice than you would expect from Nala, and she would fit more as a Sarabi.
Yeah, she
But-
would be a good Sarabi.
I don't know because Grown Nala
Yeah.
has I don't know.
Grown
Grown
Nala
Nala
still.
and Young Nala are very different. Young Nala is
Young Nala's a
from
little
the hood,
hood. Yeah.
and Grown
What a
Nala,
hoe!
yeah.
What's with the water hole?
Grown Nala wants to speak to your manager, so it's a very different voice.
Bro, Nala is the man.
Listen, Neve
Speaking of
Campbell, bro.
Young Nala, I just found out the girl playing Young Nala is in Us.
Oh, is it the girl
God.
from Us?
It's
No.
the little girl from Us.
Would make sense.
Gabby, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Us.
Hey.
Hey, I'm also worried about Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh my God.
He's not nuts. Yeah, but what's your number one? Talk about us.
My number one movie is Us.
Us.
And it was filmed in Santa Cruz, you guys. And I spent 5 of the best years of my life in Santa Cruz. I'm really looking forward to Jordan Peele's whole horror movie
Anthology
that he's going to do. Yeah, anthology that he's going to do.
Calling it.
He's obviously, like, you could tell from his first movie that he's a master and he understands, or like he loves this genre and he understands places that you could take it. And
that we've never been before.
And he has a unique perspective and he's doing it with what I feel like he's doing it right. He's using diversity and he's using like his own perspective. It's going to be so good and I'm so excited. And also Lupita Nyong'o's in it and I love her.
Winston Duke is also in it.
Winston Duke's also in it and they're old buddies from Yale.
My favorite part of this trailer is we can get crazy if
You want to get crazy, we can get crazy. It's hilarious. So here's the thing. I met Winston Duke as M'Baku.
Yes.
And I've only ever seen him as M'Baku.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he's not, but I feel like he's doing an accent in this movie. Like, the first time I saw the trailer, there was the back of my brain was like, he does a decent American accent. Oh, wait. Because that line, you want to get crazy, we can get crazy. It sounds like when people try to do an American accent.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's so great.
And they like...
It's a concept I've seen before. The hero fights an evil version of themselves.
But I feel like Jordan Peele is
literally that.
gonna do
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
in a way that's different.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan Peele.
He's gonna do it in a way.
Bring his style into it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the twist.
It also looks way scarier than Get Out.
Oh
it
yeah,
does.
this looks...
Yeah.
This looks like
This is gonna be
like a
hard
straight
to
up
watch.
horror-
There may be a lot of bathroom breaks on my part.
Like Get Out, I saw, I was like, oh, a horror movie. I'm interested to see it. This one I was like, ah.
Yeah. There's gonna be no question. Oh, is this a horror movie? What do you guys think? No one's gonna nominate this for best comedy.
movie.
This is a horror movie.
Yeah. Listen, there are small children crawling around on the floor. Like I don't
Creepy
know.
masks.
That's always creepy.
These weird purge masks.
And
on.
also,
Lupita Nyong'o's face in a lot of these clips.
when she
in
does
the
that weird
trailer.
laugh.
Oh my god, that's the scariest part of the trailer.
yeah.
That is the scariest part
My
of the
gosh,
trailer.
that
Oh
is the
my
scariest
God.
part of the trailer to me, and I'm just
And
like,
just
why?
the way they like edited her eyes to look in some of the shots where they're just like, it's just
Oh my
so
But I feel
scary.
like Jordan Peele
And-
probably listened to like maybe I didn't even hear anyone say this, but the one and only complaint that might have been said about Get Out was it wasn't that scary. So he was like, okay,
okay.
all right.
Is that
If you want
is
to
that what
get
you want?
scary, we can get scary.
But I knew
love
this
us.
was my most anticipated because I've
gonna
seen
love
this
us.
I
trailer
hope so.
like several times.
I have
And
seen-
as you've noticed, I haven't really seen any other trailers.
Nope.
So
I
That's a
have,
good
that's
trailer.
how
I have
knew that
seen
I'm-
this trailer once, and I was like, well. This was a great trailer. It looks like a great movie. I don't
never gonna see
I was
it
like, I
in
never
my
need
life.
to see this trailer again.
Also, I like
exactly
that
where
they
I
took
am.
I
Yep.
Got 5 on it and made it
Oh my
Scary.
god.
Who
here's the thing.
does that?
I'm starting to get to the point where I hate that trend because every trailer does that.
Yeah.
But I really liked it in this.
They did it
This
so
was
well.
well done.
worked so well.
And also, like, the only reason I know about that song is you always saying I got 5 on it.
Really?
Wow.
And like, I finally was like, you said it like 3 times.
That
and I
was the
like,
90s,
what is
right?
that
I got 5.
from?
Yeah.
I think so.
And you were like, it's a song, Gabby. And I was like, oh, I got to listen to it. And
Okay.
It was the
And
same
it was
situation
here.
as the trailer. Where like Gabby's like, "What does I got 5 on me?" I'm like, "It's about drugs."
It's about
It's not about drugs. Gabby, don't do drugs.
But yeah, no, I was like, this looks like a great movie, and I'm almost tempted to watch this too because it looks like such a great movie. But oh my god, I would
no.
be
Watch
so
it before
scared.
you.
You
and
will-
No,
Report
okay. Here is how I know I will be scared in this movie. Like I said, I've only seen this trailer once. I was watching TV one night, not even really watching it. It was just on in the background at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden I heard, I've got 5 on it. And I turned my head to look at the TV and it was the trailer for Us. And I went, it's too late at night for this.
I'm picturing to be like slowly turning to look at the TV and she goes, no, 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 no,
no, no.
no, 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 no.
Like I was like, it is too late at night for this trailer. I can't do this. I think I turned the channel. I was like, nope. I am noping out of this movie. We don't need this at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Man. It's funny though, that song conjures images for me that were in the trailer. Like when I think of that, I think of like Venice Beach or Santa Monica Pier. Like that's where I would hear that music. And then this whole
And then there's a boardwalk in the
background. Yeah, there's a
background.
boardwk in a pier. I'm
That's
like,
the Santa Cruz
it's like
boardwalk.
he knew.
But
I'm looking forward to seeing this movie to see like places that I used to hang out in.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah,
But-
and
She's a horror
then
fan now,
seeing
to me.
them
We
from
got her.
I'm not a horror fan.
She's a
yet.
horror fan now
I'm,
to me.
I'm dipping my
We got
toes
her.
into horror,
I'll
kind
take
of.
that. But yeah,
That was me last year.
so us looks fantastic.
Yeah, and
And-
with that, we conclude.
We're done.
Our
Those are our
final
top.
All right, give the rundown.
So
And
the
we're all-
rundown.
Jesse.
Fastest freaking
Number
top
1.
10 we ever did.
And we're only 13
My
minutes
number
over.
was Avengers Endgame.
Colin.
My number 1 is Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
To me.
My number 1 is Star Wars Episode 9.
My number 1 is The Lion King.
And my number 1 is Us.
That is a good goddamn list.
Great list. That's a
We
solid
all
list.
have
Fantastic.
excellent taste in films,
We
probably.
do. Maybe. We'll see. All these movies are
We'll
gonna
see
suck.
next year, guys.
I'm excited for 80%.
Catch you guys next year for our next reshoots recaps.
All right, guys, let us know down below what your most anticipated movie is. Have you seen Glass by the time this came out? Because you probably have.
Possibly.
But comment down below. Let us know what your most anticipated movie of 2019 is. Go check out our other podcast that we've been doing all week. Let us know if you like us, if you think we talk too much, if you think we don't talk enough. Too bad. Like, share, subscribe. There's a lot of buttons down there. Hit all of them except for the dislike.
And check out
yeah,
our
not that
movie
one.
reviews.
And check out all our other
yeah.
reviews. We should have a Glass review coming soon. Yes?
Hopefully.
Probably.
We'll see.
Perhaps.
You'll see.
We'll try. Happy New Year. We will see you
Soon.
the rest of 2019.
Have fun out there. guys.
Yeah. I got
Bye.
5 on it.
Have fun out there, guys.